Yo, can anyone hear me? Is the stream working now? Am I too loud or am I not? I see someone there. What's up? Yes, it's working. Is it too loud? I'm good. Alright, man. It's been a while. How are you? It's been good. Fine. Alright. I feel you. I didn't mean to do a stream. Usually, question. Push, Barry, fire, Blair Davenport. I mean, two of them already been fired. I mean, clearly push Roxanne because she's younger and the most developed, and she's the only one in the company. If there's anyone else I would keep Gigi Dolan for the emo fan base, and I feel like she's got it like that. Blair Davenport's good, of course, but I feel like Gigi Dolan is more unique, and we can do something with that. Do something with that. Any more questions? I should have put this in the stream, but we're gonna do a couple of reactions. We're gonna wait a little bit, make sure everything is good, no problems. Make sure everything is good. I was gonna actually put a post that I was gonna stream, but I don't know. I woke up a little late and I was like, fuck, we need to do a stream right now. That's what we're doing. So hopefully everything goes good. If you don't catch the stream, I think I'll pretty much just leave it here. And yeah, and I'll probably cut like certain reactions, put it in the main channel. Of course, this is the only channel. Put it in for an actual video. So if you guys don't catch the whole thing, you need to leave, all that stuff. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Probably wait one more minute, then we'll start with the actual reason we're here. There's a lot of videos I need to read, watch, need to review. Right now, I'm just here to, make sure, I keep in contact with, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The reason why I started this channel in the first place, and, just cool things that I've seen. Interesting stuff too, like streaming. There's a lot of streaming stuff here that, I don't know. Push, Barry Fire, Damian Priest, Roderick Strong, Andrade. Not gonna lie, 2 years ago, I probably would have pushed Damian Priest. Right now, not gonna lie, I don't see the vision anymore. I feel like, things are, it's not as good as they used to be. It's not I don't know, it's just not clicking with Damian Priest. So honestly, I'm gonna push Andrade. I think we could do something with him. I'm surprised that no one has done anything with him since, like, what, 2018? So yeah, I'll guess Barry Roderick Strong. He's been buried his whole life, honestly, since joining NXT, so nothing's gonna change, and I guess I'll fire Damian Priest. Alright then, well, with that being said, I got a couple of videos that I'm gonna watch. if you guys have any videos for me to watch next stream, because I guess I'll just say it right here. I'm trying to make this like a Tuesday, Thursday stream type of deal, because this is when I'm least busy. I have more time to do this. So, I'm going to do it more. Make sure this channel can grow. Make sure I can be, keep up with the community. Make sure I'm with you guys. I see that a lot of people have, left. Have brand new people that, that are coming back. I know there's some OGs over here. I get to see, some of you guys are still here from back in the day. It's been 2 years since I last streamed. Oh my god. Y'all should have asked for more streams. I don't know what's with you guys. But not a beat around the bush too long. I think it's time for me to do what I came here to do, and that's react to some videos. I know it's low-hanging fruit, but I gotta do it. I'm a yapper. I got a lot of opinions. This is the most must-seen stream, number 2, the sequel, because I feel like the first number 2 didn't really do that well. So hopefully I can redeem myself. Hopefully I can redeem myself. Hey, where's channel? I also see that you've been doing stuff in your own channel. Yeah, I look at your channel too. I see what you're putting up there. I like it. See what you're doing. You're doing the what ifs. Sorry I fell off of the what ifs. Not gonna lie. I fell off them. I just started doing more lost media and more niche stuff regarding the internet than JoJo. I see. Good shit, man. Good shit. You walk so I could run? Nah, man. I don't even know if I've begun to walk. I don't even know if I'm crawling right now. Man. You don't even know. You don't even know. Damn, my voice has been shot for a while. I don't know why. Hopefully it doesn't ruin the video, but I think we've wasted enough time. I think it's time to actually get some work done. So we're gonna have to review some of these videos. Don't worry. If you're not interested in it, please, listen to me. If you are interested in the video, when I post it as a cut version, put the link in the description. With that being said,
infantilization is...
This is the first video I saw being recommended a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of really wanted to talk about it. It's called the infantilization of certain JoJo Bizarre Adventure characters. Now immediately you could see Doppio was in the thumbnail, but I'm really interested to see if it's just gonna be a discussion on Doppio, or if it's gonna be on something else. Was TWRP right about Triple H being a bad booker? I mean, Triple H being a bad booker is, he has a lot of problems. I'm not gonna lie right now. There is no good booker. I guess Tony Khan is the best by default. I don't really see it, but was he right? I mean, he could be right. You know, at first it's cause I think when I saw that video, he looked like he was just trying to like just throw shit to Triple H, you know, and he wasn't giving too much like arguments and points, and whenever he did, it would just bog down to like him being like, you know, a loser. So I think that's why I was like less inclined to believe that Triple H was a bad booker. And for a while, he wasn't a bad booker. You know, things happen. You know, people have you know, a slow period. People have times where, you know, they're not doing good. Look at what happened with Tony Khan. 2022 to 2024 was really rough, even though they had All In, and they had stuff with like New Japan and the partnership with CMLL. So, you know, things happen. WWE's had it before. 1995 was a horrible year, not just for them, but for also WCW. ECW was the only like good company that was doing good in 1995. Like both companies weren't good, you know, clearly you could see with what they were putting on TV, but they weren't even doing good like financially. They were struggling. All right, enough talk. We've got this video over here. The infantilization of certain JoJo characters by Hokage Key. Hokage Key. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. Hokage Key. I've been seeing this guy's videos too. He's in the come up. He's in the come up. I already sense good things with this guy. I sense good things with this guy. So let's react to the video.
Infantilization is the act of treating someone who is not a child as if they are a child, and that is an issue within JoJo's
Also tell me if the audio's good.
All the fandom does it with some of their favorite characters or some certain characters. It's like they have to make them seem like they're younger than they are, or like they're more innocent, when most of the time these characters are real life killers. Like they kill, you see them in the show kill crazy amounts of people. This has always been an issue to me because why? I see people, for example, Doppio. Doppio gets mischaracterized within the JoJo community so actually crazy. To some people, it's actually crazy. Like when people actually do Diablo deep dives and like Diablo / Doppio deep dives, they're good usually. But the people that don't and just like him, oh my god. They'll act like he's innocent in all this, like he would be the one with a normal life or something. No, he is equally a psychopath. Doppio was excited to pick up the phone almost every time it rang, ecstatic. He was so loyal to the boss, he had no qualms over killing or trying to kill people. I mean, y'all saw him try to sneak risotto like what, 3 times?
So this is an interesting thing. What do I think about the infantilization of Doppio? And I feel like some people do treat him, and this isn't just some people, and this isn't even just a JoJo thing. A lot of anime fans have problems, you know, making certain characters ooh, making them a little cinnamon roll, making them the little baby they have to protect, even though they themselves are either killers, they have the capacity to beat people up, they have a lot of these powers and a lot of these abilities, and you know, a lot of people still treat them like the little babies, like they're like this little like 12-year-old that needs protection, you know. And Doppio I could see being one of them. To be fair, Risotto was trying to kill Doppio, so he was justified to try to kill him back. Yeah, that's true. And I was gonna say that as well, because you know, Doppio, I was going to say this, and I don't know if he's going to say it, but Doppio is also a victim of Diavolo. If it is true that, you know, Doppio was the secondary character, that he was the secondary personality that Diavolo created, then in the way Doppio is kind of a victim, because Diavolo was just manipulating him. Because remember, in that fight also, he was saying, you know, my dear Doppio, my naive Doppio, he was treating him like a little kid. So Diavolo himself was also infantilizing Doppio, but that was to manipulate him so he could do his bidding, so he can, strike when things were doing good. And yeah, you're right. Risotto was trying to kill Doppio because once he saw he was a little suspicious, immediately he started to try to interrogate him with torture, and that's when Doppio had to step in. Diavolo stepped in and said, "Hey, make sure you don't get caught lacking, or we're both dead."
What are we talking about? Even after that, you have scenes like with the fortune teller, where he could have controlled himself. He could have literally just walked away and pulled his arm and told him, no, leave me the fuck alone, and just kept it moving, kept being quote unquote nice. But instead, he allowed his rage to take over and he started choking him out and decided to fucking kill him. Now, that was probably an equal decision from both of them, but they both decided to kill that man. I haven't even brought up what he did to Abacchio, because
Diavolo secretly
Doppio
Anasui.
who did that. That was Doppio.
I gotta lie, if Anasui had King Crimson, Stone Ocean would have been a lot different. Stone Ocean would have been a lot different.
That whole time he was on the island, Doppio was on the island, he never changed fully into Diavolo. I want that to be known. All the heinous acts that happened on the island, he never changed into Diavolo. That was Doppio. Boss's orders, but it was still Doppio who did that. He had no qualms hitting that man in the stomach off guard, sneaking that man. None. As a matter of fact, Doppio also had no issues trying to hunt down a group of gangsters within their ranks because they quote unquote betrayed the boss by not killing a 15-year-old. He had no qualms by doing that. In multiple personality disorder, usually there can be personalities that disagree.
That was Diavolo who killed the fortune teller. He killed Abacchio. That was Diavolo. That's true. That's true. I agree. I feel like Hokage is trying to basically imply that Doppio isn't this innocent guy, that he also has a part in killing these characters, doing these heinous acts. And he's right. It's just that the thing is, Diavolo is the one who's mostly, he's the problem. He's the one who's doing everything. He's the one telling Doppio, hey, kill this guy, kill him. Make sure we don't get caught. Yeah, Diavolo was there. He was essentially gaslighting Doppio. He was telling him, hey, don't get caught. We can't get caught. If anything happens, we're done, both of us. And of course, he was telling him the comments of my sweet Doppio. So, yeah. I feel like that's what he's thinking of. He's basically saying that we shouldn't just 100%. That's Diavolo. Because Doppio is his own personality. That's the whole point of the character. I agree that Doppio isn't a saint, but he's not pure evil like a pure evil character. Oh, 100% not. That's Diavolo. Since he was born, remember, he came out of his mother with no emotion. He didn't come out crying. He didn't come out with any emotion. He was just staring. And I don't know if he was planning it out since he was a kid or anything, but remember he killed his little village and the caretaker, where that was the priest, or that was the pastor or whatever. Yeah, and we don't even know if Doppio even existed at that point. It could be that after the burning of his village, he created Doppio just so he can, properly escape and maneuver himself. Maybe that's why Doppio has the appearance of a 15-year-old boy.
Both of them were on the same fucking page. Why? But people give him so much of a pass because, oh, Diablo's the one who's clearly crazy. Both of them are clearly crazy. You know why? They're in the same head. They have the same brain. Now let's talk about Johnny Joestar, because that's another.
Alright, so we might as well finish the Doppio and Diavolo discussion, because that's the final thing. He's going to move on to Johnny. And Johnny, that one makes a lot of more sense, in my opinion, than Doppio. Doppio, he is not a. He is, to be fair, he's not really a good guy. You know, it's a deal with a. He's a person. Split personality? Exactly. He's another personality. It's one body, two personalities. I've not seen SBR. Ooh, man, I don't know if you should. Spoilers. Spoilers. I have a lot to discuss about Spielwall Run. Well, we'll get there. Doppio, is he infantilized? I could see that. A lot of the fandom, I want to wait. I could see people infantilize him a lot because, you know, he's a sweet guy. Especially the part when he died. Spoilers, by the way, but I think anybody who's worried about spoilers probably would have left. I feel like Doppio is a unique character because he's kind of like Diavolo's child. If he was, if Diavolo actually took care of Trish. You completed part 5? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel like, did you watch all of the, did you catch up to part 6 though? Just in case, I don't know, they bring in Weather or Emporio, Stone Ocean. Yeah. I guess, yeah. I think to be fair, the whole point wasn't, he kind of did say that. He was just saying that Doppio was a killer. I guess the whole point he's saying is that Doppio isn't this innocent guy. He can do bad stuff too. And I feel like he should have talked about like the fandom more than the character. If he were to say like give you know screenshots of people's Twitter, people comments on YouTube, stuff like that when he was regarding Doppio being an innocent boy, and then he would have shown, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, he is, he helped Diavolo do a lot of these things. I think that would have been a good talking point. Because right now he's just saying that he's a killer. He's done a lot of these things. And in my opinion, Diavolo was the true, he was the boss. He was the one in charge that was doing all these evil things. That's why he's evil, because he was just using people, even though he was using himself, which is hilarious. This is the first time someone used himself. And it actually means him using someone. You don't want to talk about, because he does talk about Johnny, and Johnny, I feel like he gets a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure he's talking to Narancha next. What do you guys think we should do? Should we skip Johnny and go straight to, I think, the other guy? We should skip? Alright then, man. Steel Ball Run, hey, the anime is coming out. Watch out. But just to talk, just to clearly talk about Johnny, just to quickly do it. Let's just say he has fire in his eyes, and if he has to kill, he has to kill. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Just because he looks like a twink, you should be careful.
Because one of the reasons I made this video in the first place is I literally saw this image that literally encapsulated how some people treat Doppio and Diablo.
Both bad people, just in different ways. Actually, A is completely irredeemable, but B is 100% innocent and was just manipulated by A in any wrongdoings they ever did, because A is evil. If A didn't exist, B would be a completely innocent Uwu cinnamon roll who would do no wrong ever in their entire life. See his argument.
And how, oh, they treat him like, oh, well, Doppio's the evil one, Diablo's the good one. I mean, reverse that. Diablo's the evil one, Doppio's the good one. No. No, 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 no.
Not
no.
too much on that
and
guy,
you'll see,
not
like,
too
this
much.
genre tweet where it's like, oh, for example, Narancia, he's such a good kid. He's such a good kid. He didn't do anything to nobody. He didn't do anything to nobody. The same Narancia that smashed the glass into a random guy's face, started beating the fuck out of him. That guy, that guy, he didn't do nothing to no one. Are you kidding me? You know, I just wish y'all started treating them more like late stage teenagers slash gangsters slash adults, because a lot of JoJo characters are just adults. A lot of them, don't get me wrong, early 20s, maybe 30s, maybe 40s, you know. Some of them, teenagers, younger than that, you know, whatever. Those, treat them like a kid, whatever.
A lot of them are like teenagers. The problem is they're teenagers with attitude, teenagers with a lot of problems. Narancia, do people really say that Narancia's this innocent guy if things haven't happened? I'm pretty sure he's like a crash out. He's also a little bit of a dum-dum because he had no education, but that's to say the least. This video, isn't it? Yeah, I could see, I think his issue is that people immediately say, it's just that people have a certain fondness for a character, which is why they want to see them in a better light, and why they make them innocent. So a lot of people probably they probably feel bad about Doppio. Spoilers, he died in part 5. I mean, Diavolo also died in part 5, but he died kind of in a sad way when he was reaching out for the boss. Remember, he was saying, "Boss, where are you?" when he was dying in Bucciarati's body. So I feel like a lot of people feel bad for him in that regard. I think his point isn't saying that Narancia is evil. I think his point is saying that Narancia isn't this ooh little boy, but he's a gangster. He's 17. He doesn't look like it because he's like malnourished, but he's like a 17-year-old who probably catched a couple of bodies. Hey, he did in part 5. He's killed like 3 gang members.
But how are you gonna treat this fucking 18-year-old gangster like he's not out here shooting people? Come on. I don't know, bro. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, we're on the road to 5K, so anything helps. And until next time, peace.
Well, it's a video nonetheless. Hey, got a lot of issues, or not a lot of issues, but this video, I could see a lot of its main points get invalid. But I think his video was good. You know, he's a young man. He's starting off doing his YouTube channel. You know, not too much on his voice. You know, things. You know, my stuff wasn't that bad. You know, I know how nervous it is. I think I saw his channel. He barely created it like this year or last year, so not too much. Remind you in the scene with the taxi driver after the whole finger behind the eyeball action. Oh yeah, he did do that. Doppio is the one actively advocating for the death of the driver. Yeah, Doppio isn't an innocent guy. It's just that he's like a kid, you know? If you're around like a lot of death and a lot of killing, especially when the guy that you're looking up to kills in order to be safe, in order to not get their you know, they're themselves out there so they can be hidden from the public, of course Doppio is gonna be the one that was like, hey, we should just murk this taxi driver right now. We need to get rid of him immediately for the boss. And the boss is like, look, I'm okay with killing, but like at the same time, we can't just kill everybody. We also gotta make sure people don't go missing because that could lead us to people investigating and leading to us. And that makes sense because they're gonna be like, holy shit, he died. Who was the last person? It was this little kid with pink hair. They start looking for him, more shit to the boss, you know? The fact that people seem to infantilize Doppio kind of confirms how effective a cover he is for Diavolo. That's true. That's true. Not a lot of people suspected this 15-year-old boy to be the boss. Still stupid though, even given Doppio's within the organization regarded as second to the boss, as in the boss of extremely brutal organized crime syndicate. The whole point is Doppio looks harmless, but is in reality one of the most dangerous stand users. Yeah, that's the point of Diavolo. He has two personalities. I think that's why Araki made the character, is that he was interested in the two personalities, one body thing, and he did it amazing way. Spoilers. I'm pretty sure you know about Johnny being disabled, but definitely that does make a reason why Johnny's infantilized or uwu little boy. Is there any other JoJo videos? There is. Don't worry. Might as well just finish this up. Gappy gets infantilized. I feel like that's because like people love their relationship with Yashuho. Narancia gunned down Risotto without even seeing him just because they knew an enemy was near. Oh, wait. Narancia didn't gun down Risotto. Risotto took control of Aerosmith and was gonna blast himself with the boss, but the boss used King Crimson. Duppy was especially funny because that man is in his 30s. Motherfucker knees pop when he stands up. Oh my god, bro. That's true. Bro, I'm no longer in my teens, bro. I'm in my 20s. I know about that. Shit. But it's also kind of cool that Doppio, like, he is so hidden. He, like, goes. Narancia shot him first. Oh, yeah. My fault. He did. Yeah, you're right. He did. I forgot that he did it, and the boss, Doppio used that to his advantage because he was leaking so much blood. He wasn't having enough oxygen. You're right. My bad. Yeah. My bad. Nah. Bro, I think he's like a college student, so not too much on the guy. But yeah. This guy's on the come up. He's making these JoJo videos. We'll see what he's up to. Alright, everyone. Get ready for the second video. Could Batman take down Diavolo and Passione?
Could the Dark Knight bat?
Whoa. Before that, anybody had some final thoughts? Something else to say? It's a pretty long video. I might not even watch all of it, to be fair. Sorry, I might skip the intro. We get it. Batman's cool. But Batman Stand. Oh, you saw this one? I was gonna see it beforehand and like watch another video, but I was like, nah, this one seems good. And also, if I put it in, the channel, I could, be like, what the heck? Batman has a stand and is fighting King Crimson? What the hell? But let's see. Let's quickly see this video. See how this does. Don't spoil it. I didn't spoil part 7 for you guys. Off topic thoughts on Jacob Fatu saying the N-word in a song. I mean, call him ISO Speed because who's going to stop him? That's all I have to say. Who's going to stop him? I mean, I think I don't think he should say that because he's not black, but he grew up around a lot of black people. A lot of the Samoans have grown up with a lot of black people. So I feel like it just comes off naturally, that lingo and that terminology. I've heard a lot of, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of white people that say the N-word. Not because they're saying it off malice, just because they grew around a lot of black people saying that word in a non-malice way, So, is Jacob Fatu a good guy? I mean, he went to prison. But, yeah. Alright, could Batman take down Diavolo and Passione? Before starting this video, with prep time, Batman can beat anyone. If it's just Batman with no stand, yeah, I feel like he's cooked. Diavolo himself could just destroy Batman. I immediately know Diavolo's the type of person to see him as an immediate threat. Oh my god, this guy's a detective with like a lot of utility belts and like items. Hell no. And even the other members like Risotto and La Squadra, they'll immediately take him out. I feel like he might beat what's that guy's name? The one that could shrink people. He could probably beat Pesci. Maybe Melone. Depending on the situation. He might actually be... He could do the Gauntlet, honestly. I think he could do... Could probably beat Prosciutto. But after that, I don't think he's gonna beat that little popsicle. And Iluso. Could Team Bucciarati catch Yoshikage Kira? Oh, that's an interesting question. I feel like they could beat him, no doubt. Catch him? Their one positive thing is that they have Abakio. So I feel like if Abakio dies, I don't think they'll catch him. But if Abakio lives, I feel like they have a strong case to even like surpass the amount of time that the Duane gang had at catching Yoshikage Kira. Because Moody Blues is so busted,
Batman take down Diavolo and his gang Passione? This is a rather large and multifaceted question. The question I'm presenting here is something I think most JoJo fans and Batman fans would appreciate. Batman in multiple continuities of DC has fought large and dangerous organized crime gangs within Gotham and outside of it. The League of Assassins, the Court of Owls, the Siamese crime family, Penguin's gang, the Triads, the Russian Mafia, among many, many more. But never a group whose strongest members are all superpowered gangsters operating under a even greater and stronger boss, the time and fate manipulating stand user Diavolo. In my opinion, I would say Passione is as dangerous as the Court of Owls, if not even worse. They are a gang that controls the southern half of Italy with an iron grip. Nothing goes in or out without them knowing, and have complete control over their drug routes, which goes through them and then throughout all of Europe. Not to mention too, they pay off politicians and policemen. Passione is big time players here. So how could Batman take down Passione and Diavolo? Well, that comes down to Batman's intellect and fighting prowess. Part 5 Golden Wind is a unique JoJo part. In order to beat it, one both needs intellect and fighting power just to survive, and even greater to beat it. So this hypothetical battle will be a great showcase of Batman's skill set to the fullest. Does Batman have what it takes to do it? Would he even make it to Diavolo in the first place? Could Batman even win? And
what do you guys think? I forgot you guys said that you already seen it. I don't want to get spoiled. What I think quickly, I feel like Batman, he could run the gauntlet. I feel like he might have a hard time with Illuso, with Man in the Mirror. I feel like if he gets taken down, it's over for Batman. Even though Man in the Mirror, the stand himself, is really weak, I feel like they could, they tag team, especially if it's not just La Squadra, like individually, if it's like team battles, might be up for the Cape Crusader, but if it's 1v1, I feel like he might do good until he meets Risotto Nero, and then it's up to Risotto if he wants to fully kill Batman, or if it's like an interrogating thing, then I feel like Batman might find a way. Oh yeah, and about the other ones, Notorious B.I.G., Batman might just pull the same thing that they did, just put him in the sea. Clash and Talking Head. Ooh, that could be interesting. If we also have to mention, we don't know if Batman has, like, he could see the stands, because not all stands are visible. So we also gotta mention that. La Squadra vs. Stardust Crusaders. Squadra vs. Stardust Crusaders. We could do that for the next video. We could do that for next time. I was thinking of streaming on Thursday. I don't know if I'm gonna. Maybe around this time, maybe even a little earlier, but I was thinking of streaming on Thursday. Maybe we could watch that. Because I got a list of not just JoJo videos, but other non-JoJo video stuff. Talking to just random stuff. But La Squadra for the Stardust Crusaders, I'm down to watch it. But let's quickly finish this video.
For the more curious JoJo fan and the knowledgeable Batman fan, could Batman gain a stand? Let's find out. And by the way,
100%. Batman could definitely gain a stand. He has the ability. He has a lot of like a strong personality. Remember, to gain a stand, you have to have an indomitable will. The thing is, having a strong will doesn't mean being a good or bad guy. And as we could see, Batman has the Green Lantern ring. He has so much or not just aura. He has a strong personality. There are times where even Darkseid, one of the strongest beings in DC, has commended Batman. He could definitely gain a stand. 100%.
my name is Metas.
Hi.
Within this version of the JoJo universe lives a Bruce Wayne who met the same fate as so many different versions before him, losing his mother and father in Crime Alley. Seeking vengeance, after years of training, Bruce eventually becomes the Batman. At this point, Bruce has been Batman for several years, and has fought gangsters and villains for a majority of that time. Batman has noted in recent months that drugs outside of Gotham are coming in. These drugs are a powerful salt-like opiate, allowing it to be injected. The drawback to the drug is the opiate formed from the salt only exists for a total of 2 weeks before reverting back into salt again. Somebody is transforming salt into a drug, and Batman is the only one with the resources to stop it. Batman now finds himself tailing a gangster group by the name of Passion in Italy in order to stop the drug trade coming into Gotham and around Europe. Batman must fight Passion alone. Who will win? So where does Batman begin his investigation here to take down Passion? Well, I think the obvious answer here is Pulpo. Not because this is where kind of the story really starts within original part 5, but just the fact that Pulpo is a high-level gangster within Passion who knows a lot of things. He's the only stand user in the entire franchise that has the ability to give other people stands, and more or less being a gatekeeper for upcoming newbies entering Passion. So in theory, and using context clues, he literally knows everybody in the gang, or at least everybody that is extremely powerful within the gang. Hell, I would even double down. From what can be understood here, Diavolo willingly gave Pulpo the stand arrow after his trip from Egypt after gaining his stand, King Crimson. So if anything, out of everybody in the entire gang, Diavolo trusts Pulpo the most. So that means he's extremely trusted. Maybe Batman doesn't know that coming into this, but he definitely will know after it. How Batman found Pulpo? Well, the EU has a public criminal database, so if I could figure that out, Batman definitely can. Wondering. So if he can gain a stand, what would his stand be, metas? Well, I think I've come up with a pretty cool one.
See the stand.
Master Bruce Wayne. Stand name Good Grief. Why I chose Good Grief as the stand reference name here is in reference to Nirvana and the overall history of Foo Fighters involving David Grohl and Kurt Cobain. After the death of Kurt Cobain, David Grohl, the drummer of the group, eventually started his own band as a way to kind of cope with life at the time after losing Kurt, and would kind of go on a little bit of a vengeance streak against the record company that owned the masters to the original Nirvana tracks. So I kind of see this like Batman versus Gotham City thing here coming through it. So I thought it'd be a pretty cool reference, on top of the fact, of course, Nirvana's soundtrack did inspire Robert Pattinson's Batman. So I thought it was overall just a pretty cool reference in general. Also, Good Grief, Jotaro's catchphrase, just thought it would be cool. So getting into the meat and potatoes of the stand discussion, what is Good Grief's stand ability? Well, stand abilities for the
Should have called something in the rain.
Batman fans that don't know usually emphasize kind of the stand user's characteristic traits. In specific with Giorno here with part 5, Giorno wants to save young life and kind of foster a better future for kids and just people overall in general. So him having the ability to make life is a great way to show that. So in specific, talking about Bruce here, what characteristics would go through his stand ability? And in general, and almost in a very anticlimactic way, it would just be Batman. Again, but it's not like a Star Platinum kind of stand where it's just a punch ghost, as I feel like that would be extremely boring, especially in this part where it literally debuts wearable stands. So don't worry, it's not like Black Star Platinum with the ability to have like massive prep time or something. That would just be really dumb. What I'm trying to do with this stand in specific is try to emphasize the ideas of vengeance, fear, and hope. Good Grief is a wearable stand that mimics the style of Batman's cowl. When looking at Batman while Good Grief is active, Batman is perceived as like a bat-like demon with an intimidating aura. What I'm kind of envisioning is like absolute Batman that's currently coming up within DC Comics, a little bit of vampire Batman thrown in there, and specific art styles done by very abstract artists that have drawn Batman. Due to its intimidating aura, anybody who looks at him is basically petrified due to an intense fear. The only way to break out of it is through sheer willpower alone, or just people with strong-willed auras being able to counter it. While extremely simple, this is extremely good for Batman. Being able to guarantee strike fear into your opponents while fighting them or trying to just get more information out of them is a massive boon for Batman.
That's essentially what he wants. He wants people to fear him.
He doesn't have to play the character here when his just overall look is doing it for him. So I think it's a really cool stand ability and just really works well for Batman. Also, quick note, just because it's a cape basically or a hoodie doesn't mean it can't be used in combat. Think of it like Arkham Batman's kind of cape where he's able to like break defenses. It also kind of works similar to that. Just thought I would point that out. But going back to Pulpo, yeah, he's cooked. Basically, Batman has every single stat advantage in favor for him. Not to mention his stand ability is probably working like crazy right now just because Pulpo didn't expect Batman to gain a stand. Not only that, but he looks like a demon. So yeah, Pulpo is just basically surrendering and giving up at this point. However, the running gag for this video kicks in. While Pulpo is highly trusted, he doesn't know everything, and especially he doesn't know the things Batman wants to know and just gives them basic information for the most part, being as truthful as he can in front of, well, this bat demon. I think the most Pulpo will know will be like something amongst the lines of the boss kills anybody who tries to figure him out, and the boss is trying to find his daughter, and he needs to guard her from other members of Passion. Depending on how you see it, either within the moment or maybe after a few days of investigating or just trying to think about it logically for a while, Batman probably comes to the realization that the only people that would know the boss has a daughter are people that either A, don't like the boss, or B, are trying to become the boss. So they have to have motive, and they probably have to be stand users. So logically, it has to come down to the Squadra for a few reasons. Number one, they are the assassination group, so they have to be stand users, and they do hold a
Also, the events of Part 5 are going to turn 25 in a couple of months. Insane, bro.
A lot of power within Passion, and since they get orders from the boss, they most likely know the boss. They're kind of the group to kind of get rid of problems that Diavolo doesn't want. Second, they recently lost 2 members pretty mysteriously, as they haven't been seen and other gang members would notice. So just due to those few clues, either Batman gathers within the moment, asking questions from Pulpo, or just after the fact and eventually interrogating other gang members, he would most likely come to this conclusion. Now, the order Batman fights these guys is probably most likely random and cannot be predicted, except for Risotto, who is primarily just looking for the boss, while the others are looking for Trish. So I would say, more likely than not, Risotto will always be the last one Batman fights. But
What if Team Bucciarati fought Batman instead of La Squadra? I feel like Batman, with what he is presenting as this like fear thing, I feel like he can do numbers with it, honestly. If it's Batman with the, he can throw hands, and if his ability stand that just strikes fear in the people, and he can do stuff with his cape, I feel like he might do numbers with them. Because think about this. Narancia, he might give up. There might be a little scene where he could survive. But I could see him being struck with fear. Fugo, oh, especially. He is not strong-willed at all. He has problems controlling his stand. Abacchio, he's also... He has a little... He's also a little difficult to say, but I'm also leaning towards no. And Mista, as much as he'll try to shoot, I feel like Batman's regular suit can deflect bullets, especially his cowl, his cape. I mean, I feel like the big problems would probably be Bucciarati and Giorno, and I feel like those two will probably beat Batman if given what this is saying. I don't know if I skipped it, but I don't know if Batman gets like a strength boost. Also, I am giving it to Bruno and Giorno because they have the intent to kill while Batman mostly doesn't. So they'll probably catch him lacking, and I'm not even going to talk about GER.
The others are completely random, but for simplicity's sake, we'll just go through the order that they appeared in. Batman versus Formaggio is a no-diff fight easily in Batman's favor.
Yeah, as
Why
I said.
This is just because Batman is a master martial artist in a lot of categories, while Formaggio is just a simple street gangster. While he can do assassination techniques thanks to Little Feet in a one-on-one combat scenario, it really wouldn't affect Batman too much unless there were items involved. But other than that, Batman would dodge, roll, use his utility belt. There's almost actually a lot of argument here to be said that like he wouldn't need a stand at all if he were to fight Formaggio.
That's what I was saying. I don't even think he needs a stand to beat Formaggio. If literally Narancia beat him with essentially a toy airplane, he was able to survive him. Because I don't know if Formaggio was just trying to like torture Narancia. I think he was, in order to tell him, hey, where's the girl? And Narancia, being a crash out, was like, shoot first, ask questions never. I feel like Formaggio would have been taken down. Formaggio probably would have gotten the W. But Batman, oh, he'll definitely beat him.
I would say basically
No doubt.
in every category, Batman has him beat. Even when it comes down to stand ability, I think that fear factor is going to come in clutch. Moving on to Illuso, our next gang member. This one's a bit interesting. Man in the Mirror has the ability to send people away into a mirror dimension, basically sealing them away. Or their stand if he chooses. Or vice versa, it just depends on how Illuso's feeling. But Illuso has to physically overpower them to get them within that world, which definitely will be a problem here, because Well, it's Batman. He is physically a peak human. I don't think Aluzo's a peak human. Furthermore, Man in the Mirror needs mirrors to function or anything reflective. So depending on the environment, Aluzo might actually be useless here. He could either be an extremely difficult fight or just basically a jobber. However, I don't think he'll play too much of a factor.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. La Squadra, when you think about it, they weren't even trying to kill. Most of the time, they were just trying to beat Team Bucciarati until they get the information regarding Trish, which then tells them to getting the information about the boss.
Even if he did have mirrors. Why I say this is, like I said previously, Batman will physically overpower him because Batman is, well, Batman. I don't really have to explain that to you guys. The guy benches way too much and knows way too many fighting styles to be overpowered by Aluzo. And second, Abakio in his fight was able to realize he could still use his stand to fight him even if they were separated. So even if a vice versa scenario were to happen, Batman can still use his stand to fight him if he were separated. I think easily, thanks to Batman's intelligence, this is a high possibility. At best here, Aluzo might give Batman a little trouble, but he will probably end up defeating him for the most part by either outsmarting him or just outpowering him.
Oh, with his wearable
Now
stand,
we move
he'll
on
beat
to
him.
Prosciutto and Pesci. Now this one's actually a bit more interesting than the last two. The Grateful Dead and Beach Boy are a pretty lethal combo here, having the ability to age somebody extremely rapidly by touch or its gas, with Beach Boy's ability to fish out anything, even vital organs, is kind of, well, a serious issue here for Batman, as both of these stands have a ridiculously long range, making Batman's close combat kind of obsolete here for the most part.
That's
However,
true.
let's talk about Batman's stealth and utility equipment, as this is probably going to be the thing that saves his ass here. Batman, for the most part in all these fights, has an advantage over them as they are not in their element like they are in the original part. So that has something going for Batman. More likely than not, I see Batman playing a game of fear, or like the takedown like mini game within Arkham City where you're just trying to take out as many guys as fast as possible. So I think it'd be something similar to that. Just trying to psych out both of these stand users where they get out in the open and Batman's able to do a crazy amount of damage to them in a very, very quick session. Because if Prosciutto is caught off guard, he really can't age Batman, and Pesci as well. Until a rage amp or a resolve amp isn't too much of a threat, he'll be more of an annoyance than anything. And since Batman's not killing any of these guys, I don't think Pesci will ever get that resolve amp. So for the most part, Pesci is the
true.
weak link, and Batman was most likely going to target him first than anything. And then bide his time until Prosciutto messes up, or Batman's stand, good grief, affects him slowly over time, as Batman's whole thing is fear. And I do think Prosciutto possibly can be affected by fear. I think he's probably like the second or third most like strong-willed member out of La Squadra, so I don't think it would immediately affect him, but over a long period of time and taking out Pesci, I think Batman can wear Prosciutto down. Now, Prosciutto is deadly here and can make Batman age, but even in older ages, Batman is still physically fit enough to fight. Depending on the interpretation you're using here, and since we're generalizing, I still think even an older Batman is still physically fit enough to at least do some level of combat. However, to kind of hop off the Batman ride, I will say Prosciutto and Pesci so far out of everybody in this video are the first ones to pose a highly challenging fight for Batman. This will be a long one and definitely not an easy one, because if Pesci ends up growing a pair and then comboing with Prosciutto, Batman might not be able to come out of this alive. This is the first kind of one where you have to raise your eyebrow a bit, because once that fish hook enters your body and it's a vital organ that he's trying to fish out of you, Batman really can't do anything, and he could possibly die here. And with all that aging gas around him, yeah, this is definitely not going to be an easy one. This is not going to be like an easy clear like the last two. This is a deadly combo. But I do think Batman does have a few answers to that within his utility belt and just using his stealth and wearing them down over time. Now up next is Malone, and I'm just going to flat out state it. Since Batman is hunting these guys down, Malone probably doesn't have prep time for Babyface to work, and he ends up losing because Babyface like takes a while to eventually age up and grow up and eventually actually becomes like a useful stand. So yeah, Batman wins, and even if Babyface were to show up, it still acts like a child, and since Batman's literally just fear itself and kids are extremely fearful, yeah, this is like a no difficulty fight.
Yeah, no question.
I actually personally don't think any fighting would happen here. Like, Malone is not a very good stand user in like hindsight, unless he has time to make Babyface and he's fighting an opponent that really can't scare the child. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's really easy here. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Gyatso and White Album. On the surface, this fight does seem extremely difficult for Batman. Gyatso's White Album has the
They're probably gonna bring in Mr. Freeze.
to freeze anything to almost absolute zero. So trying to get close to him is kind of a near death sentence. However, this is where Batman is most likely going to excel. Gyatso has a bit of a rage problem, I'll say that. So more likely than not, after pushing aside stats or what they've done in the past,
He's gonna rage bait him to win. I could see Batman doing that. Mostly Terry McGinnis, because that's what he did in the Joker movie. But Gyatso, especially with him being oh my god, him being a certified crash out, 100%.
This fight boils down to just mental warfare, because Batman, with all of his skill and technique, knows for a fact after probably encountering Gyatso once, seeing that he has ice-based abilities in close proximity, is not going to try that again, so he has to use other means. And since he is notoriously known for exploiting his enemy's psychological weaknesses, he's going to do it here. So a fight that would be normally extremely difficult in regular power scaling, if we're now involving character and story plot here, Batman would easily just kind of outsmart Gyatso into just kind of either doing something stupid or just exploiting his emotions so he eventually does something stupid with it. I most likely see Batman using like environmental tactics or explosive batarangs to damage White Album's armor, because once that's broken, I think Batman can just easily take down Gyatso, as he really doesn't have anything but his ice powers. He's not known for anything else. But to have favor with White Album, Gyatso only really needs to damage like Batman's legs or attack his chest or his head to really finish off the fight extremely quickly. So it's not one-sided at all. It's difficult for both opponents here to achieve victory. But for the most part here, I do think Batman can win, so we can move on. So, going back to the story here, after defeating a majority of Passion, what has Batman discovered? Well, for the most part within the original story, the Squadron for the most part knew where Trish was multiple times throughout the story. So it is pretty likely to say that Batman would eventually end up saving Trish or meet up with Trish. So in this scenario, we could activate the third win condition here and just say that Batman kind of wins because he uses Trish as a radar, ends up using his detective skills to figure out who Diavolo is, report him to the police, and the video could be over here. However, that's boring and we want to see Diavolo and Batman fight. So to continue on forward, we'll just say that Trish's sole radar abilities just don't end up working out here for whatever reason, maybe because she doesn't have a stand yet or something, and Batman still has to go on the hunt, which leads Batman down a pathway which he fights the final Squadron member, Risotto Nero, as he is primarily looking for the boss and not Trish. And I won't lie, the entire reason why I made this video was to see these two interact and fight. Personally speaking, when it comes to their backstory, they are very similar. Both of them come from a traumatic experience that should, in theory, make both of them evil. However, Batman picks up the side of justice in order to save people, while Risotto just ends up going down a life of crime. So in a way, two sides of the same coin. To even add more story detail, unlike the other previous Squadron members were just straight up fights and just interrogating them for information.
Duality.
This one almost comes down to kind of questioning, I feel like, between the two characters. What I mean by that is both of them just asking why they're doing this in the first place. Why is Batman trying to defeat the Squadra, and why is Risotto doing the things he's doing when he can probably live a better life with his stand ability? And it eventually just all boils down to morals. Justice versus revenge. It's honestly, in my opinion, a really... Out of everybody in this entire video, Risotto is potentially the first or second person to give Batman a run for his money. When you have knives and scissors coming out of your body, then into your body multiple times, and dodging and weaving all of that while fighting a guy who is extremely durable, who only died to automatic gunfire, basically point blank, yeah, this is going to be extremely tough. With a limited arsenal as well, you can argue that Batman should lose.
Risotto Redemption arc? Sign me in. Yeah, I said it before. Risotto next to the boss is gonna be the hardest person to fight, because that guy is just incredibly broken. If not for him interrogating Doppio, he just would have killed him. He had the boss in the palm of his hands, but he just didn't know that it was, a 2-in-1 special.
the sake of the video and me wanting to continue on forward, I'm going to say that due to Batman's intelligence and just sheer fighting prowess, that he does end up beating Risotto. However, I would like to specify it was a long and drawn out fight with a lot of blood and a lot of damage to both fighters. Switching back to the storyline here, after this long and bloody fight, Risotto eventually reveals to Batman that he was looking for Doppio, who is directly connected to the boss. So Batman knows where he's going now. However, during this, Batman has taken out multiple gang members, a lot of high-ranking gang members, and is most likely known to everybody. And what I mean by everybody is Diavolo knows, and now Polnareff knows. I'll come back to Polnareff soon. Let's talk about Diavolo here. Since Diavolo does not want his identity to come out, more likely than not, he will require the special unit of Passion to come and fight Batman for him before he reaches him. So it's kind of like an inverse of scenarios that happened with the original Golden Wind, where the crew had to fight Diavolo first, then the special unit, then Diavolo again. So how does that play out? Well, funny enough, for the most part, these guys actually do worse than La Squadra by a very large margin. Going in order when they first appeared, talking about Squalo and Tiziano first, only one of these guys is a threat while the other one is completely useless here. The stands Clash and Talking Heads are weird. While Clash is actually probably a threat here for the most part, as it's able to teleport to any body of liquid and then kind of resize itself to the liquid that it's in, it can be deadly, it can't be deadly at some points. It really just depends on the scenario. And Talking Heads just attaches to your tongue and makes you lie. But I don't know who Batman is talking to other than maybe Polnareff, but I highly doubt it, and I'll explain it later. But overall, these two guys are just useless. Batman within the story really isn't lying to anybody within these fights, nor is he really talking to anybody, and Squalo is scenario dependent, and I don't even know why Batman would be around a large body of water unless some shenanigans were afoot, but even then Batman would easily be able to figure it out and just get away from water, making Squalo useless. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Carne. Carne was this savage monster within the original part of Golden Wind, and I'm lying out of my ass. We have nothing about this character. He was one shot by Mista. Batman.
That's true. And if, Batman doesn't kill Notorious B.I.G. isn't going to be a problem at all. So this character is basically done.
Wouldn't even kill him in the first place to activate Notorious B.I.G. in its current form.
Trish maybe lies to him? Interesting. What if this is the scenario that maybe Trish... I could see Diavolo manipulate Trish into thinking, because maybe the whole thing, they don't know why the boss wants Trish. So I could definitely see Trish, because she is kind of a snotty brat until she learns that she was going to get killed. What if Diavolo kind of manipulates her? That'd be crazy. Or what you said, maybe Talking Head can go into Trish. But I feel like Batman's whole thing is being by himself, so he's not going to have a lot of allies,
Literally cannot talk about this character whatsoever. We just have to move on. So, easy Batman win, I guess. Now, finally, we actually end up getting into a pretty interesting matchup within the special unit. But technically speaking, these two are not on the special unit. These guys are last resorts, but just for funnies, we'll just put them in the special unit for right now. Chocolata and Sequal. Their stand abilities are Green Day and Oasis. Oasis has the ability to swim through material matter. That's all it really does. Can't go too crazy with that one, but it does have its uses, and potentially makes him slightly stronger than an average person, but that one's a bit fishy. I don't know if that's just, JoJo stand shenanigans or just Sequal being really powerful. On the other hand, Chocolata stand, Green Day has the ability to infect mold in the nearby air. However, it only activates when you are at a lower altitude than Chocolata. If you are, you start to mold away and start crumbling if you don't try to reach a higher altitude. And don't even try to attempt to go down, because you will just die. So these two are extremely powerful stands. So how will Batman deal against them? Well, I'm kind of stumped here, actually. Due to the circumstances of how the part originally went, and just due to how Batman's doing it now, I don't know what will happen. Cause will Chocolata actually get a helicopter again and do what he originally did? Or is he just gonna be on the floor the entire time with Sequal? And will Batman be on top of buildings? Cause that's what Batman usually does. How is it necessarily working out here? I will say, I think in any scenario, Batman for the most part will play the psychological game and use good grief to psych out both of them and then defeat them through fear. So just another Arkham takedown mini game again. So I think that's what would happen for the most part. These two, other than and stand ability wise aren't really a threat. These guys are just regular Gotham weirdos to Batman. So unless there's some weird shenanigans at play here, I think Batman wins this pretty easily to like maybe struggling at least a little bit with Chocolata. Sequal is just an easy counter. Batman's just going to be waiting until he messes up and then he's just going to beat his ass. So yeah, Sequal's really not a difficult guy to beat here. So yeah, when it comes to the special unit,
yeah, Sequal immediately gone, especially within his stand ability to induce fear. It's over for him. Chocolata might be a problem until he can do reverse psychology and then get him to be feared. And I could see Batman doing that, so yeah, GG's. He wins by brain blasting them, essentially. Now that we know that Batman runs the gauntlet, let's see if he's got it over here.
Takes place between the two, where Doppio reveals that he is Diavolo, or Diavolo reveals that he's Doppio. Vice versa, it doesn't matter. Good Grief versus King Crimson and Epitaph. Diavolo versus Batman. How is it going down? Well, in my opinion, I think this is very, very, very character dependent. That's due to the fact that Diavolo does have a massive advantage here when it comes to hacks. Not only can he skip time 10 seconds into the future, with events during that time skip actually happening, but he also can see into the future for about 10 seconds. However, it is...
Yeah, we didn't even mention Epitaph. You could see into the future for a little bit.
shown that Diavolo is a bit weird with it and can kind of get cocky depending on the interpretation you're using here. If you're using the first time he showed up with it against Bruno, he's a bit smuggish versus the last few times where he was using it and he was immediately to the point and just straight killing people. So what would he do here? Well, looking at his character, I think it would be kind of a mix of both. He definitely would be playing around with Batman a lot here, psychologically freaking him out, how he's teleporting everywhere, how every time Batman tries to throw a punch, it's almost like he misses entirely, or he just shows up in a completely different spot than he originally was. It would be extremely confusing even for the Dark Knight. Even with Good Grief playing a psychological factor here, Diavolo has Epitaph to show him the future, so I don't think he honestly would be scared here. I think he'd have the willpower to overcome that fear, as shown with Gold Experience Requiem before he got that power up. So that leaves two options for Batman here in this scenario. Number one, run away and come back with a better plan, or number two, fight there and beat Diavolo.
Or solution 3, get the stand arrow. Is the stand arrow even in play? The Requiem arrow?
Going with the second path here first and really wanking Batman. If we honestly believe that Batman is a super genius who can fight in any scenario and come up with a plan on the fly, or at least can do some deductive reasoning on the fly to come up with something really fast, Batman could use everything in his arsenal to overwhelm Diavolo, as he can only see 10 seconds into the future within a specific moment, and use that to overwhelm him and time everything correctly. So he can't use Epitaph or time skip. However, while I do think Batman is a master fighter and a brilliant man, this is just too unrealistic for this scenario. Trying to figure out how Epitaph and time skip work while on top of trying to make up a plan so you can beat him just seems just too much even for the Dark Knight. It is much more in Batman's character, even generalized, that he would run away to come up with a better plan. He does this a lot of the time. This is in character for him in general, which leads to the question or the scenario of, would Trish or Polnareff get involved in either of these answers to the Diavolo versus Batman question? In my opinion, it just depends. If it happens afterwards, then Batman eventually gets a Requiem stand and then he just defeats Diavolo, just plain and simple. Or if it happens during their fight, it gets a lot more complex because now there's potentially 3 stand users, or at best 2. And there's so many details that it's very hard to predict with a very power scaling / story based discussion like we're having. So like I said, it just depends when Polnareff and Trish get involved. But if we're strictly looking at it with Batman trying to prep for round 2, I do think Batman could overcome Diavolo. Using some elaborate plan with a lot of moving parts and pieces and just overwhelming force, Batman could totally confuse Diavolo just like he did to himself, and could potentially take down Diavolo this way. And if somehow that incorporated fear using good grief, I think it even furthers a case for Batman here. So in general and overall, just depends on what you give Batman here to win. I would overall say within this story scenario, there is a lot of leeway for Batman to squeeze out a win over Diavolo. So to answer the question, could Batman defeat Passion and Diavolo? I think it is a plausible yes. Now, if you want to argue for a specific answer, then you have to go a little bit into the story details here, but overall, I think it is a yes. Now, like I promised at the beginning of the video, and if you skip forward here, hello, how you doing? My name is Metas.
Hey.
We will be using specific Batmans to answer the question, could Batman defeat Passion? And the one I'll be talking about primarily the most here is main comic Batman. Now, I'm going to guess some of you are probably going to say, well, it's still Batman, right? He needs prep time, like he's going to get washed here. Hold your horses, let me explain something. Mainline continuity Batman from DC Comics is not the same Batman from like 20 years ago. The whole Batman needs prep time to beat anybody is kind of like an old joke at this point because, well, to put it bluntly, this Batman is a canonical composite version of Batman. That basically means is all of his greatest records, his greatest feats are all wrapped into one. His intelligence is on par with Brainiac, who has a 8th to 12th dimensional level intellect, which means it's so high humanity itself cannot comprehend what Brainiac is thinking, and Batman is able to do that. He's able to comprehend on the same level as Brainiac. I know it's stupid, run with it. He's also been able to go toe to toe against Wonder Woman, who Wonder Woman has to go toe to toe against literal concepts of fighting itself. So Batman himself is on the same conceptual level as fighting, like the concept of fighting. It's stupid. Not to mention he's also dodged Darkseid's Omega beams. He's nuts, dude. Those are the same beams that are able to outspeed Superman. Like, it is so dumb. Current Batman doesn't need prep time. He's just ridiculously overpowered. Batman, through sheer intelligence and combat skill alone, destroys this part. And once we start taking into account stealth and gadgets he uses over these past few decades all into one arsenal, you can't beat him. And if you start giving him like his Justice League Buster suits, it's just like, what do you want to, what do you want Part 5 to do, dude? It's like, they can't do anything. So yeah, mainline comic Batman is just too overpowered. Clears the entire part easily. Now, if we're talking about special variations of Batman with a power-up, for the most part, those versions of Batman probably can beat this part as well. So we're looking at like Yellow Lantern Batman, Green Lantern Batman, Vampire Batman. Any version from him from the Dark Multiverse can probably end up soloing this part as well, as they're all physically amped to such a degree that they can more likely than not tank a lot of these stand abilities head on. And now if we're just doing variants of Batman with no power-ups, it just depends on that Batman. Just to go by really fast because this video is already long to begin with, if we're using Dark Knight Batman from the movies, for the most part here, while he's intelligent and has a lot of combat skill, he just doesn't have the physical stats of other Batman to really kind of help him out through this part, so he probably dies for the most part here. If we're doing Arkham game Batman though, this is where it kind of gets weird. Apparently his fighting skill is so insane, he's basically just a mini Spider-Man. He has like a mini like
Facts.
Batman sense, so it's like really weird with him.
Facts. Arkham Batman is crazy.
Be able to probably counter like Diavolo's like time skip, if anything, or literally anybody's like sneak attack, so he potentially can do it. He also does have some superhuman feats in there as well, just to make the argument more convincing. Now, moving on to DCEU Batman, this is where it gets really weird depending on the scaling. Either A, he's just like Dark Knight Batman with nothing really impressive, so he gets washed, or B, he's comparable to his version of Superman and Batman, which is really weird saying, but it just depends if you're using behind the scenes footage. So he could potentially beat this part as well through just sheer physical stats alone. Moving on to one of my personal favorite Batmans, being the Batman from the animated universe. This variant of the character probably can do it. He has some impressive feats relying on the Justice League as he kind of scales off of them, but he's also so smart, so this would be kind of the reverse of the Arkham variant of him, where he'd be able to figure out that Diavolo is like controlling like the space-time continuum and changing fate, and he'd instantly realize that and probably would be able to counter it while fighting. Sorry.
Well, that's the end of the video. Of course, we all know that Batman could take him. There was really no surprise there. I guess the whole thing that I wanted to see is like Batman and his stand and how Batman could deal with not just, you know, whatever stands are, but the fact that it shows how broken Batman is. Again, good video by Metas. Very good YouTuber. Yeah. Yeah, pretty long video, but we got the job done here. There's a lot of stuff I got to do. Now, that's pretty much the end of the JoJo discussion. That's my little JoJo Power Hour. For those of you who are still here, I know some of you are not. If not, my bad. Remember, there's some new video. Hey, these streams are coming up. We might be able to do something new. You never know. But for right now, we're done talking about JoJo. So if y'all have anything else left to say, anyone has anything else, anything at all?
I've never seen.
Alright then. Well, in this video by Omizi, is the streaming bubble finally burst. Now, as you can see, I'm streaming right now. So, is it over for me, chat? Is it over for me? Did I start at the wrong time? Is this a failure? Is this gonna be the end of the VV Tax channel? Let's see.
I've never seen this much dick pulling in my life. I've never seen so much fake competition in my life, bro. Like, and that's what realistically ruined this shit.
Like a month and a half ago, I stopped IRL streaming as much, and I know a lot of y'all have noticed that. I haven't had much energy in my streams necessarily, and I kind of just kept streaming because I just wanted to, you know, I never wanted to take a break. And then not to mention, I'm not gonna lie, I feel burnt out.
I've seen Ron go from loving streaming so much to his passion slowly going away.
Bro, I just don't know what to do with this shit anymore, bro. This shit just don't feel the same, bro. What do I do, bro? I'm so lost. Chat, I'm gonna see y'all later, bro. I gotta take some time to myself.
Are you okay, man?
Nah, bro, come on, bro. I'm chilling. I'm just listening to y'all convo. But I dare do gotta leave. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta do shit with Davo, so I'm gonna hit y'all later, alright?
Alright, bro.
Alright.
Alright, man.
Views is down. Elephant in the room. Everybody, you can't pull up a nigga right now and his shit ain't cranking like it was last month, nigga. It is what the fuck it is, nigga.
It's kind of crazy how I can't even control shit on my own fucking stream. I can't control nothing.
Coming into 2025, everyone and their mama thought that streaming was the way to go. It was the means to create content to a wider audience, farm money, and do honestly some of the dopest things in the world. Celebrities were getting into it, athletes were getting into it, politicians were getting into it, and it just seemed like streaming would be a staple for years to come. But
dude, I honestly thought that I might have to leave YouTube to be a streamer if I wanted to do any content creation, which sucks because I do like making YouTube videos. I love planning them. I love making sure I'm concise, and I love the fact that I could just edit any mistake I have. If I can't, then it's over for me. But you know, I like streaming, and I could see the appeal of streaming, but I'm not gonna lie, my heart is still with YouTube. Can't change that. But I really thought that to be in the top, you gotta stream, and I thought, damn, dude, it's too over polluted with streamers. What can I do?
then something happened. When everyone flocked to this medium of creating content, it started to create a bubble. And eventually that bubble would have to burst. And to be honest with you, I think that we are there. And with that bursting reveals the unintended consequences of streaming being this gold mine type rush. There's been a view epidemic. Streams are getting crazy expensive and out of control. People can't have private lives anymore. And ultimately, being on live 24/7 is not something that people can handle. Hell, the child stars of past have shown us that before. I'm here to talk about the state of streaming in 2025 and going forward. And to be honest with you, it's not looking good. In 2024, we saw a boom in the streaming economy. We saw the rise of the FaZe clan. We saw the rise of different members of AMP. Mafiathon 2 went off without a hitch. The FaZe Subathon went off without a hitch. And everyone and their mother flocked to streaming. Which meant
for anyone that's coming new, we're looking at is streaming bubble burst. Is it over for us? Is streaming done? And also, he's probably going to explain why a lot of streamers are getting tired I see it on Twitter. I see a lot of streamers like they're having like mental breakdowns. Black Boy Max was a up and coming streamer is going to the hospital because he's not taking care of himself. Shit's insane.
Step going into 2025 was to stream more, right? But we quickly found out that that is not something that is sustainable for the whole ecosystem, for the whole environment. It can't handle everybody flocking to streaming for a plethora of different reasons. I think the first thing that had a lot of people skewed as to the realities of what streaming can and can't be is Streamer University. It happened earlier this year, and people thought that it was a great idea. And
Dude, Streamer University might have been the worst thing in retrospective, because aside from like 3-4 streamers, a lot of them have either fallen off or are doing the same thing that they were doing before Streamer University. And it sucks because Streamer University should have been like the big thing. It should have been like, you know, the NXT for the streaming world, but it just ended up being not a failed event because, you know, people started views, but didn't hit as what they thought.
to be honest with you, it introduced a whole different subsection of streamers to the information pool that we all can look at and consume. But it definitely had some unintended consequences. It made everyone feel like they had to spend a shit ton of money in order to get their streams off. And streamers found out quick, fast, in a hurry the first problem with this mass streaming movement is that streaming is an expensive venture.
The Love Show. This is something that...
Dude, I heard that he lost like thousands of dollars, which is why he's crashing out on that My Ball show he had. Crazy.
I'm spending a lot of money. Like I'm contemplating selling a watch in order to invest in this. Like this is the most expensive shit I ever paid for. Nigga, I'm spending a house on what I'm doing. You feel me?
Y'all know how expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You can get a 10K check from Twitch. What the fuck is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips to travel, $500 on setup shit, $2,000 on your rent, $200 on Wi-Fi, $200 on IRL toolkit. You gotta pay the clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going into negative.
I think what a lot of people...
Wait a minute. Is she buying equipment every time? Like, okay, I get like the clippers and certain helpers, editors, but what the fuck is she wasting on streaming equipment every time? Is she moving to different places?
Saw from people like Kai Cenat or any of the people from FaZe is that spending money for streaming, putting money back into your content is seemingly a worthwhile investment. But I think what a lot of people underestimated is the fact that they have a lot of equity built into the content creation game, where then when they do these ventures, they can see the return, they see the benefits, and they are reaping the rewards of it. They have sat there at their computers and desks and built sweat equity with a community that is willing to support them no matter if they spend money or don't spend money. So it makes sense for them to go out and buy the Samsung phones all the way up to the $30,000 backpacks. It makes sense for them to invest in a trip into Six Flags, their local theme park, or go across the country to Japan. But a lot of the new streamers hopped into this lane, and it didn't ultimately pop off because they put money into it without building up that community aspect. There's a lot of big streams that went off this year that did not go as planned, as told by leaders of the community or just what we see. Hell, what happened to a lot of the streamers from Streamer U, Streamer Prom, the Are You My Ball show, or that other love show that Black Boy Max and them put on? And even if you ask,
I didn't even know those existed.
What the outcome of the love show might
Black Boy Max did a love show?
Go so well. It didn't do what he thought it would do.
Every dollar I made this month plus more is going into that motherfucker. And it's only a week long. If I don't average like 40, 50, I think finale I might touch a Hun Diddy or like a 150 piece.
Now I did think I would have touched 100,000.
Just because you spend
It was over for
doesn't
him.
mean that you're
It was over for him.
to the views. Which brings me to the next issue. Viewbotting got out of hand in 2025. Now, for those of you who don't know what viewbotting is, it's when people, whoever the entity is, pays for bots to inflate numbers on a person's...
Do I have a couple of view bots here? Man, if I had a couple of view bots here, I probably wouldn't have done it anyways. I don't think I would do it because I want to grow on my own. But it explained why I'm not hitting double digits when I stream. I mean, I love you guys who are, of course, watching my stream, and of course, I didn't notify anyone this time, so my bad. But Y'all need to get on the ball. You need to watch more VV Tax videos. What are y'all doing? We can only watch JoJo so much.
Channel. It could be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, but for this specific purpose, we're talking about Twitch. And as XQC and Twitch exposed, there have been a lot of people who have been view botting on this platform. This only got sniffed out after Twitch dropped its view bot crackdown, and honestly, it worked better than a lot of people anticipated. Viewership on Twitch is down wholeheartedly.
Apparently, the overall viewership on Twitch went down as much as 24% compared to last week.
Jesus, 24%? It's almost 1/4.
With many big streamers suddenly losing thousands of viewers. Not just big streamers, streamers of all shapes and sizes lost tons and tons of viewers, like across the board.
Now, in hindsight, it does make a lot of sense. There was times last year where there were platforms like Kick, Rumble, and Twitch where viewership was 100,000 viewers for like 6 to 7 to 8 streamers on every single platform at any given time. And to be honest with you, that was just to inflate things so people could get their advertising dollars and create this bubble that we're in now. And at some point, somebody was gonna have to sniff it out. I mean, it was literally not making any sense. And I do want to offer another POV in the conversation though, because I don't think it's all bots.
Everybody on this bitch, views is down. Elephant in the room. Everybody. You can't pull up a nigga right now and his shit ain't crazy.
To be fair, I feel like Twitch also bought it themselves. So I don't think it's like the person buying it. Now, do I believe that there's no one buying bots? No, I definitely believe some streamers are. But I feel like they're not 100% at fault, because I could definitely see like whatever agent or organization they're a part of buying it for them so they could seem even bigger than they are. Or even Twitch themselves being like, look, one of our biggest streamers, you know, we put a lot of investment in them and they're not doing that good. Let's give them a little help and see.
Like it was last month, nigga. It is what the fuck it is, nigga.
Niggas are paying for me not to have viewers. I never had 250 viewers before, not even starting Twitch. Even when I wasn't even a Twitcher and I started, I never even had this many viewers.
While there are things like Mafiathon or other big streaming events that can occupy, you know, some of that cross-audience viewership over the course of the year, I think that there's a level of viewer fatigue that is not being talked about. And that just simply means that viewers are tired of watching the same things over and over again. The same streams with the girls, the same IRL streams where nothing is really happening, the same streams where nobody's really being creative. To be honest with you, Twitch has a copycat problem right now and nobody's talking about it.
I think streaming right now, I don't want to say nothing because everything, like, I feel like it's so much shit going on that it almost feel like nothing going on in a weird way. I don't know how to explain it, bro.
I think I know what he's trying to say. I think what he's saying when he's like, there's something going on, but there's nothing going on, is that everybody is like active and they're doing something, but none of them at the end are doing something unique, or they're not doing something that makes people want to stay and watch, or makes them, you know, bring people to grow. You know what I mean? Like, everybody seems like a copycat of someone. Like, I could seem like a copycat of some streamer, faceless streamer, and everybody's gonna be like, why would I watch this guy? I could just watch the most popular version of him.
I have a bad way with certain things. I just know, like, it's the feeling that I'm trying to portray. Everybody trying to do everything, and I'm not trying to be like nobody. I'm trying to make sure I be like myself.
And it's not to the point of like, hey, everybody's doing the same reaction content and the same reactions, playing the same games. I think that has always existed, but literally everybody is doing.
Yeah, nothing's unique. Everybody trying to find a new thing is so hard, because that new thing is always going to come from somewhere. So even though you're trying to come up with a new thing to be the new Mr. Beast, the new Kaisenat, the new Speed, at the end of the day, you're probably going to get something from those guys. It's just that it's going to be another version or a more edited, different type. You know, little things are going to be taken from, they're going to get stuff from someone else, and that's going to be the new thing, and people are going to copy you.
Doing the big Tokyo trip, or everybody's doing some rendition of a love show.
Facts, everybody's going to Japan. When are we going to get a VV Tax Japan stream?
bringing some sort of girl on or whatever the case may be and having the same exact reactions as everyone else. Nobody's doing anything new. Nobody's doing anything unique with any new emotions or uniqueness behind it. They're having the same exact reactions and it's just the same. It's literally just the same exact stuff over and over and over again.
That's true. People need to realize that their personality needs to heavy carry whatever they're doing, because whatever they're doing is like the same as someone else. How many times are we gonna watch someone go to Japan or someone trying to rizz up a girl if we've already seen it with someone else? So now it's up to that guy. Does he have enough rizz, charisma, aura? Is he funny? Is it gonna be entertaining, or is it just gonna be the same thing that we've seen but in a lower budget and with lower entertainment?
The big issue that I have with streaming now is because of this always on nature. You don't even have time to yourself in order to handle personal effects or not live moments on the internet. I've talked about it in my Blackboy Max video. It's tough that these kids are growing up in real time in front of cameras because some of this stuff is not for public consumption. I've seen issues and incidences this year in 2025 where I thought to myself, hey, it'd probably be best if you just cut the camera off.
Some family, tragedies and shit. Just shit like when my mama live out, somebody passed, I ain't gonna say who and shit, but.
Stop. Just you. I got my elbow up. Now we gotta clip this.
What the hell?
Don't take that bullshit off.
This is short.
I'll take it off.
No.
No, Jay.
No, you're not gonna fuck up my outfit.
Don't take that shit off.
No.
Then you're not coming. You're not wearing that shit with a rip on your booty cheek.
That's how
Well, you're not wearing that with me. And don't try to emasculate me on camera. Either you take it off or you get the fuck out of my house. That's how I'm moving. Who the fuck do you think you are? Wearing a rip on your booty cheek. Nigga, that's some shit you wear when you single. You don't wear that around me, man.
Just a couple weeks ago, Quinn Blackwell made a comment about streaming being digital slavery. And while I don't agree with the verbiage because slavery has meaning and connotation, there were some things that a lot of people took from that actually had some value to it.
I have always said the biggest influencer will be somebody who gives their life to the internet. And that's what streaming is. And I respect it down. I think they are the Don Julios of internet creators. Would I ever do it again? No. Because it gives a sort of digital slavery vibe to me.
Streaming in 2025.
It's not digital slavery because you don't I see what she's trying to say, that if you want to be a part of this game, if you want to be a streamer, you have to do this, and that. And I don't think a lot of people want to do it, especially women. Digital slavery feels like she's being forced to do it because she's not at the end of the day. But when you think about this, streaming is kind of hard to do your own thing. And I can see someone being, like just tired of it and not being themselves and it eventually breaking them down.
Is now this thing where you have to be online all the time at the mercy of your chat. Your emotions and your feelings don't matter. It's just go.
Chat, do my emotions don't matter?
We don't even realize that these people have been living their entire lives in front of a camera and they don't have a time to get an emotional break. Now, I know what somebody's going to say in the comment section is that, hey,
what are they going to say?
Self-inflicted. This is something that they brought upon themselves. For sure. I can honestly say that. They can start to do different things.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they don't need to stream. They could just go get a regular job, or they could just do YouTube videos. Or they could go on TikTok. There's a lot of things they have to do. They don't even have to be done with content creation. They can do so many things. But I think what Omizi is trying to say is that streaming specifically is having a hard time to be unique. It's having a hard time for people to stay happy, to stay consistent without them, self-destructing.
Whatever the case may be, and they're making a lot of money, whatever the case may be. Listen, I'm coming from a human aspect. It's not healthy to be on camera 24/7 like this. And this is why you're seeing a lot of people have these mental breakdowns when it comes to streaming now.
I've streamed 200 plus hours every single month. I just did a 4-day marathon and then streamed 13 hours a day with 0 breaks.
Guys, I am a loser. I don't do shit except
sit
on my couch and study shit and plan shit in my free time. I don't talk to people. It's bad. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna just keep it a bunch.
Same though.
I came home, I just cried on
Why the fuck does he look pretty normal with that wig?
couch, bro. Like, I cried on my couch. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I don't even have nobody, bro. Who do I have? I push everybody in my life away. I don't talk to my parents. I'm out here in LA. Like, yeah, I got my cousin, but it's like, damn, bro. Like, what am I even doing this for?
Naturally, you're going to be burned out. I mean, we're always on camera 24/7 and at the mercy of our chats. I didn't even talk about this in this video, but it dawned across me as I was doing research. I remember that time where like Senna, Valkyrie, and Extra Emily got harassed at the park by the dude, and then for whatever reason, they had to come on stream the next day to explain what happened.
He kept running and trying to get something out of his pocket, and like I said, like, you guys, when that clip cuts off, like, we had to run into a store screaming that somebody was going to kill us so that somebody would step in and let us in the back.
Like, what kind of weird-ass world do we live in that streamers have to get online and justify this dumbass crime that we've seen with our eyes in 4K? Also, why are we seeing this in 4K? I don't know. The nature of everything being on stream.
You guys are barely going to see my video in 720.
It's bothering me, and I can understand why these people have burnout, because then they have an audience that doesn't believe them, so then they have to justify them, which kind of backs what, you know, Quinn Blackwell was saying a little bit. I see it. I think there are some positives.
Are we all slaves to the big corporate entity of Twitch and YouTube and Kick? Are we slaves to streaming? Are we slaves to chat? Are we sleeping slaves? JoJo Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. You should watch it.
Going into 2026, though, I think that we've weeded out a lot of the people that came into the space and really didn't want to do anything positive, just saw it as a quick money grab. A lot of people picked up phones because they saw streaming and content creation as some sort of fad, but ultimately are realizing that, hey, this is something that takes much more effort that I'm willing to put in, and I don't want to slut out the space. Think about every single streamer that was popping or had some clout or had some traction this year that is just not here at the end of the year. Funny Mike. No, he's probably going through some legal stuff. But for real though, there's a lot of people who picked up streaming and have stopped because they're just not getting the views up. I also do think IRL streaming won't be a mainstay going forward.
IRL streaming is essentially cooked. It's over. Or it's not over, because people are always going to do it. People are always going to be interested in someone going to like Japan, going outside and having these adventures that not everyone can do. But I feel like for right now, we are just tired of everyone doing the same thing. Of going to this place, going to a restaurant, trying these unique foods, and trying to rizz up a girl or so too. It's getting tiring, so I could see why people just want people to react to videos and talk to chat, you know?
Bruce Drop 'em Off and Soluminati had some very good words about IRL streaming. It was dumb.
Bro, Soluminati looks like a construction worker I know.
Trying to keep up with people, and it was never meant to last based off of how these people were doing it.
It's becoming harder and harder for niggas to become streamers because all y'all think y'all need to be doing IRLs. Y'all all trying to be like these niggas at the top. You got motherfuckers talking about desktop streaming is dying. How is that even fucking possible?
It is not dying.
Possible. It's just the niggas you watching. You knew and you
Facts.
already thinking you need to be doing IRLs, nigga. You are a fucking bot. You're gonna fall off, bro. The IRL streaming shit is so overstimulated, so oversaturated. All you see is scripts now.
Niggas
True.
is tired of
That's so true. Every time I watch a IRL live stream, I immediately think, oh, this is fake. That is so insane.
seeing niggas just overly showing shit that they don't have that they can't relate to. We can't relate to you niggas no more. We can't. Y'all.
That's true. They're losing their relatability, and once you lose the relatability, people are gonna leave. You see that sometimes with Kai Cenat and other streamers. Not everyone's gonna be able to go on a yacht and rizz up a bad bitch. You know, like Speed is a different type of beast because he's hilarious and he's his own thing. It's like watching a TV character. But when you watch a regular guy that you kind of relate to, you know, he watches anime, he watches this and that, and suddenly he's going to expensive vacations, and at first you're like, holy shit, good for this man. Holy shit, bro, this video is going to be good because he's doing this and we like him. But how many times are we going to watch him going to Hawaii, going to Germany, going to Japan, going to Vietnam, going to these exotic places? Heck, he can be in the same state he is, just in a richer place, and it's gonna feel like he's just flexing the whole time, even though they don't mean to. You know, chat's not gonna really relate to it, and they might leave.
Streaming on yachts and shit.
Yeah.
Nigga that want to stream from his bathtub to pretend that he on the yacht right now. Listen, bro, you don't got
Your bathtub stream? Nah, that's insane.
to do that.
And last but certainly not least, I think that people are getting away from the always on nature of content creation. I've seen more streamers take more breaks. The breaks between marathon streams is becoming greater. The breaks in just streaming in general is becoming greater. I know it may mean some effects to the pockets, but if there's a quality difference and from your content as a whole, from your life as a whole, I think a lot of streamers are going to get into that now because they're just seeing that I can't always be on. It's really not healthy. And at the end of the day, it doesn't benefit me or my audience to come back on, cut the chat on and be like, hey chat, what we doing today? Because I just need to fill some sort of quota. It's the stupidest shit in the world. I think 2025 streaming is good, but I am pretty optimistic about 2026 streaming. So let me know what you think.
I've never seen.
Oh. What do you think, chat? Is 2026 our year? Are we in the wrong year? Or is it over for us? Who knows? But there'll be a video. Omizi doing his thing and is doing his thing very good. Alright, second to last video. The mall in a nutshell. Is this going to be relatable or not? And we have another video that's going to see if we're relatable. But before that, do I agree with this?
The mall. So it's been a minute since I've done one of these type of videos, so we gotta bring them back. And now I always fucked with the mall heavy, even when I was growing up.
Bro, I like the mall. Mall's kind of underrated, not gonna lie. I feel like the mall has some hidden gems. It's a good time for you, especially if you're an introvert. It's a good place for you to get out there, talk to, you're not gonna go and just walk up to a random person, because that's strange. But it's a good place for you to, make sure you're stimulated with the outside, trying to find words.
I would be hyped every time we would go to the mall. Once I saw Coconut Mall in Mario Kart, I was sold. I was like, the mall really is the place to be. Okay, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is so fucking chaotic that who would even want to be there? But some malls that I go to are a complete ghost town. Like, obviously there will be more people there for the holidays, but bro, most of the stores are gone. Like, after the pandemic, they just got rid of them. Most people are doing their shopping online now, so they couldn't even be bothered to stay open. And honestly, this might be because I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, but back when I was a kid, the mall was popping off. Everybody was going. The parking lots were full. You could barely ever get a spot. You had to wait for somebody to leave the mall and then take their parking spot as they're leaving, especially during the holidays. Like around Christmas time, the lines to these stores were insane. Like it probably would take you 30 minutes to see a cashier to ring your shit up.
Oh my god, dude, that was hell.
Or especially during Black Friday.
Oh my god, even worse.
Like
dude, Black Friday was the worst. I remember oh my god, when I was younger and my parents were trying to get all of these clothes because we would go to JCPenney, Sears, Walmart, Target. Ugh.
My mom, deadass, went to the mall to get me a Wii U for Black Friday. And it was like every man fighting for himself trying to get that shit. It was like scalpers fighting for Pokemon cards, pretty much. Well, at least at some stores. It wasn't like that all the time. But generally,
it's mostly in big electronics stores or Walmart. That's what I've seen the most riots or just group of people.
I would go to the mall a lot with my mom and just go Christmas shopping. And all the Christmas decorations.
Bro, shopping's a vibe, not gonna lie. Shopping has its merits. It's kind of relaxing when you think about it, in my opinion.
Shit in the mall were just so tough. So I just remember just looking around at all the decorations. Like, I almost ran into people a couple times. It deadass what the fuck was that? It mesmerized me, bro. But every single year, my mom would take me to go see Mall Santa.
Mall Santa. Dude, I remember one time. Oh my god. I think it was this Mall Santa and something happened. Because I couldn't see it fully. Because this was the first time I was able to go to the mall by myself. Bro, there was just a group of people going there. Like a group, and it was like a bunch. I wanted to know what happened. Because when I came back from a store, I forgot what store it was. I was coming back to that same area, walking back. the police showed up. I was like, what the hell?
He wanted me to get a picture
What
with Mall
happened?
Santa every year. Well, obviously until I got to a certain age. And I actually deadass thought,
I think for me it was like 8 years old. But I think that was because we just couldn't afford any pictures.
yo, bro, this is actually Santa. Jesus Christ, I was so gullible, bro. But yeah, we'd wait in this line for like
bro.
30 minutes, and then finally, I would see Mall Santa. And I would write a bunch of things on a list, and I would actually read it to the guy, thinking, yeah, this is Santa. He's gonna report it to the
Just
elves,
some random guy
AKA
called John.
My parents are gonna start the biggest shopping spree in their life. And not
Wish
just
I
for
had
me,
that.
but also for my brother, the duck, as well. Okay, obviously, they
Buck.
wouldn't buy everything on my stupid-ass list, but they bought some of the things on it. Then after that, my mom would take me to clothing stores to get clothes to wear for Christmas, Christmas Eve parties, shit like that. We had hella family functions coming up, so we had to get ready. And my mom would buy me these outfits that I just did not fuck with. And it looked like the style would have been in like the 1980s. But bro, it was the 2010s. We are not buying that shit, bro.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nowadays, I appreciate it because it's a lot nicer than wearing a Bakugan shirt to a Christmas party. Which
Not too much on Bakugan.
is probably what I would have done, to be honest, if my mom didn't tell me what to wear. I would always complain about it, but as I got older, I realized I was being a bitch. Sometimes we spend hours looking for outfits for something, and to keep it a buck, we did not need that much time to look for outfits. I was just so bored, I would just do some dumbass shit like hide in the clothing racks, or I'd rip buttons off shirts. Like
I could
saw,
see
like, a
that.
huge
Wait,
button.
what? Rip buttons? What I would do if I was bored, I would just sit down. If there was some toys, interesting toys, I would see and play with them. I would hide on the the racks, especially if I was with like my sibling or like any kid that for some reason I got along with. We would play hide and seek. But oh my god, if I did anything with the clothes and ripped them, I couldn't whistle, by the way. Yeah, I get my ass kicked. Essentially.
A shirt, and for whatever reason I was like, I want that button, and I just ripped it off the shirt and took it home with me. Like, what the hell was I doing, bro? Like, I really was a little shit as a kid, I'm not gonna lie. I was competing with No David. Oh, okay, I was not competing with No David, but you get the point.
Oh my
After we
god.
got
Isn't that the kid that has his ass cheeks out?
fits for
I remember the
family
book.
functions, we would get something.
That is
to
like
eat. And
ass
for
cheeks out.
whatever fucking reason, okay, I think this has to be a canon event for everybody.
Mm.
We all spawn camped Auntie Anne's. Yes, you and me, we all did.
We had
Because
Auntie Anne's, and we had what's that one place? Like, what's those pretzels? I think it was called. Yeah, boo, dude, the mall pretzels. Shit, bro. That's the only place I like to eat pretzels. Anywhere else, I'm like, I just don't feel like a pretzel. But if for some reason a mall pretzel, it hits.
Was heat. For whatever reason, I don't know what they were putting in their pretzels.
Probably putting,
but
like-
it was tough. And as I got older and when I'd
like
go to the mall by
bromine or
myself
something.
sometimes, I would dead ass get a pretzel, walk around the mall, not buy shit because I had no bread in my bank account, and then I would
Facts.
leave. Now, normally during my childhood, I would only go when my mom would like drag me. I was not going to the mall willingly. If anything, I really did not like clothes shopping unless it was at like Gap, Nike, or Under Armour or some shit like that.
I didn't
was
like it
just
at
spawning in with the
I didn't like it at all. Honestly, until I was honestly, and a lot of people that know me would probably believe this. Till like I was in high school, I just get whatever clothes my parents would get me, cause I was like, I don't give a shit about my appearance. Then you go to high school and you realize it's just about appearance.
same outfits to school every single day. Like the entire year.
You really think they're gonna talk about us or about our personality? No. If you don't have drip, you're useless.
I didn't think I got new outfits for my wardrobe at all. But as I got older, I got more into clothes shopping and things like that.
You're kinda
there'd be
forced
more
to.
points throughout the year where I'd go to the mall. And I think a couple years ago now, I went to this big
Yeah.
ass mall. It was in another state, and I was not familiar with what was going to be at this mall. So I walk
What was
in,
at this
and
mall?
immediately when I walk in,
Oh.
me and my brother are stopped by some dude that's like spraying his cologne everywhere, and then he says, smell that. I'm like, smell that? What? Why the hell do you want me to smell your cologne? Then he was like, oh, you don't seem to like that one, try this one. And he just sprayed another one. Then he asked, oh, do you like that one? We were like, I guess that one's cool. Then he runs over to like his stand. He was like, all right, I'll get you this one for $200.
Oh, hell no.
200? out of here, bro. I am not buying that shit. And I mean, I get that this dude's just doing his job. He's running his little stand at the mall.
Facts.
But bro, you do not have to spray the cologne in my face. Like, I really do respect the hustle, but then again, sometimes these mall salesmen can be really annoying. Because sometimes, like, even if you're just minding your business shopping, they'll just do some shit to
Yeah,
annoy
they'll
you.
just
Like,
do it
spray
to
the
annoy
cologne
you.
in your face. Like, the moment you make eye contact.
Dude, imagine if they spray the cologne and it gets into your eye and then shit happens after that. Hell no.
Contact to them. Or one time what happened to a friend of mine is the dude literally called his shoes dirty and was like, yo, bro, I offer shoe cleaning, man. Your shoes look beat. You know, maybe I should clean them. Like, why would you insult somebody that you're trying to
Nah.
get to be a potential customer? Bro?
Yeah, you're supposed to like bring them in by saying, hey, yo, big man, come over here. And if they don't want to come over here, you gotta like riz them up a little bit. Be like, I see you got these shoes. And what you gotta do, and this is for my salesman, if you become one, you gotta tell them like they look good, but you know, you gotta say they look good, give them a compliment, then give them a diss. Like, yeah, they look good, but they look a little scrub. And got something to make them even better so they can, yeah.
Like, what the
Type
fuck?
shit.
That would be like a barber being like, wow, bro, you have a shitty ass haircut. Here's my business card so you can come get a lineup. I might think
I could
to
see that
myself,
work,
damn,
honestly.
low-key's kind of right, but why do you have to insult me like that, bro? That's crazy. Pretty much after that, I was like, all right, dude, I don't want your damn cologne. So I left, and I just walked to a bunch of different stores in the mall just to see what they got, you know? And at this mall, there were so many fucking stores. Like, so many stores I haven't even heard of. There was 4 floors, 2 sections. Like, this is a big-ass mall. And it's got nothing on the mall in my hometown, bro. Literally everything is closed. Like, nowadays, it's dead-ass just garbage. Like, there's barely any stores.
Dude, malls have really fallen off. Like, it's all like the same thing. It's like streaming. Everything is like the same. There's no like unique stores, or all of them are like a version or a variety of like multiple stores.
But at this mall, though, I bought a bunch of shit because there was actually good stores open. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy stuff. Because the mall in my hometown, bro, there's really no point of even going. Like, it's just cooked, bro. Like, it used to look like Coconut Mall. Now it looks like one of those abandoned malls in like a liminal space video. The fall off of this mall in the last 10 years is nuts. Now, the mall in my hometown, they got rid of a bunch of stores that people would shop at. Like, I don't know, American Eagle, Nike, shit like that. But
Shit
apparently,
like that.
stores like
Type
goddamn
shit.
Spencer's is still going strong. I don't know how.
Dude, how is Spencer still going strong? Like, Spencer's feels like it's one of those stores that it was like a 2010 store. Then when it hit like 2020, oh, it would just disappear. You know, it's one of those, you would see a video being made about like the rise and fall of Spencer's. How is it still there? People still buying those penis chips?
hell that shit's still there. All I'm gonna say is if you have never been into the back of a Spencer's,
Dude, I remember the first time I went to the back of the Spencer's. I was trying to get a wallet, and I got a wallet. It was a Flash wallet. I was like, man, this is epic. And I was trying to meet my mom. She was in the back. I don't know what she was doing in the back. I went to where she was. Immediately, I see these goddamn Gigantomondos. What the hell? These freaking penis chips. These beer games that were, you know, I already know people drink beer, but dude, these dittos, bro. What the? Why did they even have them out?
not go in there. Because up until 2 years ago, I never knew about the urban legend that people would speak of, the back of a Spencer's. Like, it felt like this image right here of Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob when I was listening to people tell me about it. And then I walked in, and all of a sudden, I saw graphic t-shirts. Okay, that was the front. All right, I'm just trolling. But anyways, I went to the back, and I saw something that I wish I never saw. Something that was recently thrown at a WNBA game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I'm
them
not gonna go
dittos.
into too much detail about it.
Them dittos. They, ugh. Why was it even out there? Like, the thing is, they weren't even in. I think one time they weren't even in a box. Like, they were just shown.
Otherwise, this video is gone. But I
Yeah.
learned a very valuable lesson that day. Do not go in the back of a Spencer's. It's just not the move, bro. But another time I was at a mall. Once again, I was at
What
a
happened at the
big-ass
mall?
shopping mall in another state. This
Uh-huh.
is probably the most annoying thing about the mall.
What happened with
like,
the mall?
This just has to be said. So I'm walking in the mall with my brother and a friend of mine. And all of a sudden, this fucking group of people walks up to us and they're just like, yo, bro, English or Spanish, bro. And they have a camera on our faces. And what I should have done in that situation is just keep walking, which is what my friend did. But me and my brother, our stupid asses just stood there. And now I didn't even know what the English or Spanish trend was at this point.
Oh, it was the one where you like just stand there?
I
Yeah.
was kind of behind on it. I'm not going to lie. So when these dudes said it, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I was just like, English? Like I just said English to them, like mad confused. And they were like, last one to move is gay. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So after a couple seconds, we just walk away. We're not dealing with that shit, bro. But guys, I lost. I'm apparently gay.
He's gay now.
I moved first.
He's gay now. He lost.
Like, seriously, what the fuck was this trend, bro? This shit was so stupid. Or sometimes you may see somebody doing, like, some kind of prank video in the mall or something. Or, like, those interview videos. You know what I'm talking about. They'll ask you some shit like, yo, what was the
Gay
freakiest
son,
thing you
daughter.
ever done? I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, but, bro, that is a crazy-ass question.
Dude, I don't know. Because when I was still in college, it was, like, barely starting. But those, like, gay son, daughter, English or Spanish trends, I never saw them in public. Kind of glad, because I don't even know what I would do. I remember one time I saw someone set up something, but I never saw like something happen like in the moment. You know what I mean?
Just be going up to random people and asking. Or, well, most of them are probably staged, to be honest with you, though. But in a place where there's a ton of people that just gather to shop at stores and shit like that, obviously sometimes
like
you're
that,
gonna
yeah.
see, like, some crazy-ass shit happen at the mall. Like, sometimes you'll see fights break out out of nowhere, people crashing out over the dumbest shit. Like, dude, the amount of mall crash-outs I heard is unreal. When I went to those super big malls, like, there was always cop cars posted outside. I don't know if they were just there just in case some shit happened or if something actually did go down while I was there. But sometimes people just go to the mall for no reason at all. Like, they don't even buy food. They don't even buy anything. They literally just
a
go
vibe.
just for the side quest. They dead ass will just do laps. And you know what? I kind of feel that.
I feel that.
Low-key, sometimes I'm going to the mall with my friends and we'll just do laps. We're not gonna fucking
It's
buy
just
anything.
going to a mall is just the vibe. Honestly, it just feels relaxing because you're just walking and. You know, it helps you understand the world outside of, you know, especially if you're an introvert or you love being indoors.
Most of the times when I did go to the mall, bro, I left with one Auntie Anne's pretzel in my stomach, 0 phone numbers, scarred for life from Spencer's. Well, that was just one time.
Yeah, man. All I remember is trying to rizz up girls, failing, going to Spencer's to get a cool shirt, seeing them dittos. Saw the wrong thing.
And 5 laps around the mall.
Yep.
Insane stats, bro. I know. It's crazy. But yeah, watch
Awesome
this video
story.
about the airport on the end screen. If
I'm
you
not-
enjoyed this one, just click on it. The mall.
Nah, I'm fine, bro. I've never been to an airport, so I don't know. But for this video, give it a like. This was a good video. Follow Birdie. Good video. But now I think it's time to wrap this up with one more video. Unavoidable school experiences. It's a long video.
High school canon events part
High school canon events part 2.
2. First up is trying to bag that one girl in your grade.
All right, let's see. Are we the same or not? Unavoidable school experiences. We've all went to school some point. Let's see if it's true.
High school canon events part 2. First up is trying to bag that one girl in your grade just to find out that she's dating a guy with a full-time job, with an apartment, a Hellcat, and who's also over the age of 20. Mind you, this girl is 16. How is
Whoa. I think, have I heard, was there any rumors of this? I could see this happening, but I never know a girl.
fair? Why am I competing with a grown man as a 15-year-old boy? Why the heck is this guy not in jail? Half the time, the girl be knowing
True.
that this whole relationship that they have is weird as and that she probably shouldn't be dating this guy.
But she
in all
wants to.
reality, most of the time, they're just in the relationship for the thrill of it. I mean, she's bored in high school, and apparently an older guy finds her attractive. So she has to be this shit, not knowing that she's actually just in deep. It's that shit. It's called being a victim. And they'll always defend the guy.
She was a
talking
victim.
About, oh, you just don't know him like I do. I promise you, he's really a sweetheart. He's really a good guy. Yeah, I think R. Kelly would agree with you. And then everyone acts surprised when the guy ends up doing something bad to the girl. Like, gee wilkers, who would have thought?
Who would have
Only
thought?
somebody would have told her not to.
Who would have thought that the that the guy that's doing not a good thing is not a good guy?
Date a damn pedo. Start protecting your daughters. But you know what's unprotected? The egos of people who are chopped in high school. Being chopped in high school is something that we've all had to go
Bro, being chopped in high school, the worst experience ever.
through, unless you're one of God's favorites. By the way, I hate all of your perfect asses. F you. That's why you don't have a personality. Yeah, I said it. But for
What
the
the
rest
hell?
of us, we have to deal with
Guys, is that why everybody says I'm boring?
pain of being chopped. Whenever you try to talk to a girl or a guy, they just give you that little face of pity. They're not even disgusted by you. They just feel bad that you have the courage to come up and ask them out. Even though you most likely know the outcome anyways. It's really the most unfortunate thing ever. Now look, some people aren't completely cooked and they actually end up glowing up later in high school. But for the rest of
Yeah,
us,
like a lot of people forget, you're still a kid and you're growing up. Like puberty is weird because you're going from kid to adult. That weird phase is not gonna be good for everyone.
always being funny. Unfortunately for me, even though I was chopped the majority of my life, after junior year, I actually grew up. And it's totally not because I blew up on YouTube and everybody thought I was more attractive because of my fame and stuff. Before that beautiful
The head ass.
blow up, I had to deal with being cooked. And boy, it was hell. I didn't know how to
Yeah.
dress. My face
Facts.
just looked weird because I've always had chubby cheeks. And then worst
Facts.
of all, my locks were at that phase where they clearly obviously needed a retwist, but I didn't have the money
No,
to get
locks
a retwist.
were
So yeah, I was
facts.
fucking fried. Like, bro, I was out here
Over.
putting up Tony Snell numbers. And what was worse is that all of my homies were actually attractive. So whenever
Oh,
they
what
shot,
the
they
heck?
always scored, and it was beautiful, but it wasn't like that for me. Realizing you're chopped in high school, that ass makes you think that you'll be cooked for the rest of your life. Until you realize all you have to do to pull women is having one of the 3 M's, which is money, motion, or the ability to make a girl laugh. I mean, just look at somebody like Lil Baby. He got all types of women calling him fine but I mean, just take a look at him. No diss, no shade, but if he wasn't rich, I don't think y'all would be calling him attractive. All just
Yeah, that's insane. But he's true. 3 M's. Women like money. Women like being with a man who has motion, and they get entertained when they laugh, you know?
tips aside though, if you want to find a good girl, just be a cool person and it'll naturally come to you. Just like how you're cool with that one senior that you will always meet in high school.
Bro, like, you know what's also cool? Watching some VV Tax videos. Not gonna lie, I heard that the huzz watching some VV Tax videos. That's the move now. Friends with seniors. Bro, being a friend with like a senior that's chill, it's a good experience, I ain't
This
gonna
might
lie.
be niche, but I'm telling you right now, if you haven't had this canon event, you're missing out. Being friends with a senior, especially when you're an underclassman, is really amazing. I mean, they give you good advice. They take you places where you need to go. If you don't have
True.
a car, they also bring you food.
I never had that.
Usually they're just
I never had
genuinely
that.
good people. I remember I was cool with this one senior. We used to make music together. He was a pretty good rapper, and I had a pretty good voice, so we made some good songs together. Bro was truly one of the guys until I found out that he had a crush on one of my best friends, girl best friends, who was 14. So yeah, he was a super senior. But he was still a cool guy until I found out that he also beats women. One place he's pulling up to after they graduate is high school homecoming week. And I'm not gonna lie,
Never had
they got
this.
a good reason because the vibes are always immaculate this week. You get to dress up in themes, you get a pep rally at the end of the week, and you also get a good football game to go to, which is what usually these seniors pop out to. Now, even though there's some cool seniors, you'll also have some super seniors there too. Most of the time, these type of seniors, they're at every single game looking for talent, and I'm not talking about the football players. But the best part about homecoming week isn't any of that. It's actually the party that happens after, which is the next event I'm talking about, your first high school party. Parties in high school are so nostalgic.
Never had a high school party. I don't know about that. I only went to one college party and that was it. After that, videos. That's all I can say,
The
videos.
first one is always going to be a core memory for you. And the main reason is because nobody really knows what they're doing and the parties are kind of I mean, most high schoolers don't know what a real party is. I mean, yeah, Project X is a cool movie, but like that it is very unrealistic. And just because you throw a Project X party doesn't mean it will actually be as turned as Project X. And most of the time, these parties aren't. It's just a bunch of teenagers standing around, passing around tweez or whatever drink / seltzer you have there. You don't really do,
Yeah.
but stand around or walk around, bumping into random people or dapping up people that you already know. The one thing I would recommend for you to do if you want to have fun in high school is just do kickbacks. Most of the time, these are way better than parties anyways because you can
Honestly, the best thing in high school though, is just like relaxing with your friends. Trying to throw this like diary of a wimpy kid ass party is not gonna. Most of the time, you're just gonna set yourself up for a disappointment.
for the environment. But throwing a big party is kind of pointless because first off, it's just gonna kind of be lame. Nobody in this generation really wants to dance. And also, it will probably get shut down. If it doesn't get shut down,
what, you gonna do work on someone?
it will surely be shot down. I remember the first party I ever went to was called a field party, which if you're not from the South is just a big party on somebody's big property. And before I pulled up, I thought it was just gonna be very lame. I mean, what are we really gonna do on the field? Gather around the campfire and sing songs? Like, what the fuck? But surprisingly, the party was actually very, very good. Until this day, probably one of the best parties I've ever gone to. I mean, hell, the people who threw the party even got their parents to agree to pass around beer. What the actual what? But unfortunately, the cops made sure this party came to an end, which is again why I recommend not to go to parties in high school. There's nothing good that can come from it. Just do kickbacks. Just like if you're in a relationship, you should not cheat. Wild ass transition, but I do not care. Next, we're talking about that couple who always cheats on each other, but always get back
with each
even though
other
they know
after
that they're
they're
cheating on each other.
toxic.
But they still
Yeah.
don't care because apparently they love each other, even though they do cheat on each other.
They cheat each other even though they love each other, and they love each other even though they cheat with someone else. Like, I've seen a lot of these couples in high school. Jesus Christ. And sometimes they just do break up, which is great for them because at the end of the day, it's high school. You're not going to be bound with this person, but the amount of like people that still want to be with each other, probably because they're just fucking, or they want to keep that status that they're with someone, is astonishingly a good amount.
And the whole school knows about it, and they still don't care. They act like nobody knows, even though they know the whole school knows about it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You
you know.
Yeah, like,
You're not.
quick question. Why don't y'all just break up?
Yeah.
I mean, y'all clearly don't love each other. And if y'all do, y'all don't love each other enough to not cheat on each other. But if you're not gonna break up, at least call the relationship what it is, an open one. Because you would think that they're on Love Island by the way that they're exploring other connections. What would be worse is that they involved the whole school in their bullshit. Like, why do I know more about your relationship than you do?
Class,
I'm wondering why
yeah.
their relationship is going so bad. Over here talking about, oh, I can't believe he cheated on me for the 5th time because you've cheated on him for 6. Shit, even Kobe couldn't do that shit, bro. He had to stop at 5. Funny part about it is that I was friends with somebody in a relationship like this, and brother, let me tell you, they just don't care. It's
They don't
almost like
care.
they love getting
At the end of the day, a lot of them probably just don't care. So, as I said, they're just doing it because they want to be seen as still a couple, or they have an open relationship and they just didn't say it.
caught in the act. It's weird. One time me and the boys were at this random girl's house. Apparently she was throwing a kickback, so we just left because we was bored. And apparently one of my homies' old situations was actually at the function. And as soon as bro seen her, I ain't gonna lie, bro, we all knew that shit was over.
It's over.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Hi. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Oh yeah, so here's my boys, Bride. Then we got Trey over here.
Oh, yeah,
hi. This is Ashley and this is Kate.
So what y'all been up to? What y'all been up to?
Oh, we haven't even been doing anything for real. We just been chilling here. We went to Chipotle though, and we went to the mall, but that's really all we.
Now you know what's crazy?
Bro, me and Trey, we just was there.
Oh really?
Like I don't know. I usually get like a burrito, but like sometimes I get the bowl.
The Chipotle is pretty good too. It was nice. It was nice.
I swear to Trey always gets the worst.
What the hell?
Like, yo, ain't that right, bro? Oh, bro, what you doing? You straight?
Oh yeah, I'm finna go to the bathroom.
Oh, I can help you.
Oh, I'll help.
Oh, I mean, okay.
I
got him. I'll help
She
him.
going.
Okay, be safe, girlie.
Okay, I guess.
Nah, it's raps.
So damn, 1 minute. That's all it took.
Yeah, 1 minute. They didn't even finish the conversation. They didn't even finish the conversation. But dude, there were some demons that. Dude, there were some people I didn't even know they were like demons. I was surprised when one guy apparently had like 5 bodies. I was shocked.
Can't being so easy. Like, ew. Have some self-respect.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Didn't even last a minute. That gotta be a new record.
No, honestly, I'm kind of impressed. That shit was fast as hell. Matter of fact, did he even speak? Like, I didn't hear him say a word.
Hey, just letting y'all know, we don't support any of that cheating shit. We just homeboys with bro. We already told him he shouldn't be doing that. But hey,
Right.
But I mean, shit. Besides that, what y'all on?
No.
Nope. Worst part about these couples though is that they never break up. They even try to do long distance in college. Until one day one of them get a random text from a different number that they don't know with a video of their partner getting cracked by multiple people.
What the hell? Oh my God.
Her extended clip, or are you gonna just do the pimp? It's an evil, evil world that we live in. But they're
It's
evil. Just
disgusting.
like that evil cafeteria slop that they call food that they
Oh
try
my
to serve
God.
us. Now look, plenty of people have made videos about school cafeterias on this platform, so I'm not gonna go too deep into it because it would just take me too long. But word of advice, if you're just starting high school, just bring your own lunch. I promise you a turkey and cheese sandwich from home is way better than the slop that they're giving you at this cafeteria. By the way, Michelle Obama, I will never forgive you. Because
Yeah, Michelle Obama really didn't do that big of a difference. Like, she was supposed to say, these kids are going to be eating healthy. They're going to be eating some of the best food. We just ate the same thing, just like with vegetables on the side.
she messed everything up. We used to have them gas rectangle pizzas and greasy good french fries and those burgers and chicken sandwiches that were probably horrible for our health, but they tasted good. It was actually edible. But now all we have is them little mystery meat burgers where you can pop the bubbles of the shit. I don't even know why and how that's possible. That's truly disgusting. And if you don't want that, we'll get some sloppy joe with some milk and a fruit cup on the side.
Why is it always with the milk? It's always like that main meal, a salad or a fruit cup, and then milk. Worst combo. And they were always the worst combo too.
I remember my school cafeteria was so bad that one day literal ants got into our soda fountain. You're probably wondering, yo, Cloud, y'all had a soda machine? That's crazy. No, it's not, because we had ants in this. And the worst part about it was a reoccurring issue. This wasn't a one-time thing. And it got so bad that they had to take this out to school. And they even shut down the cafeteria for a week. It was crazy. Yeah, to sum that all up, I hate school lunch. Just like how I hate when somebody comes up to me in my personal space talking to me with their musty ass breath, which is actually
Yeah, a lot of y'all need to wash your breath, brush your teeth. Listerine isn't an enemy.
It's canon event. I promise you, coming to school with stinky breath is one of the worst things you can do to everybody. Because like, what?
All right, as much as I love this video, I need to go. So let's wrap it up.
I got an idea. Pick a better day. Another drill that I hated though was the tornado drill. And even though you're not required to
Oh, drills, dude. There was so many drills. So many like fire alarm drills and school shooting drills. Yeah. A lot of drills, and those kids didn't even take it serious. I remember one time we were hiding under, and most of the time they were saying, damn. I remember one kid saying, damn. Who do you think they'll shoot first? Like, what the hell?
With this one, I just hated it because it made me feel like a bitch. I mean, you're telling me I had to get down on my hands and knees, cover my head and two ass up for safety? Who am I trying to be safe from? Diddy? Like, I don't know how that's gonna keep me safe from a tornado when a tornado doesn't care if I'm curled up in a ball or not. But whoever made this drill,
tornado's gonna throw you like a Sonic ball.
It just doesn't make sense. If a tornado is finna pack up the whole school, you think that me curling up in a ball is gonna save my life? No, I'm still gonna get sucked up. So even doing this drill is just stupid. Why can't we just sit down, crisscross applesauce, bro? And then you have all the teachers just eyeing us down while we're doing it. Like, brother, what are you looking at, bro? All that's up is my ass. The last drill I want to talk about is Code Blue. And I want to talk about it because I've actually had an interesting experience with Code Blue. Now, see, if you don't know what Code Blue is, it's actually the medical drill. So whenever a medical emergency is happening, they'll call out Code Blue. And I've actually experienced this multiple times in my school tenure. But there's two times that stood out to me. One time I was in 8th grade and I was in science class when randomly all of a sudden I see one of the girls that's known for being quiet in my class jerking her head up and down and just spazzing out crazily. I ain't gonna lie, that was one of the scariest things I've ever seen. It was like a demon that possessed her. It was weird. After she did that, she passed out on the floor, started throwing up. The teacher was literally crying, trying to figure out what was going on. But after that, they had to evacuate the whole class out of the room. And they also had to get the paramedics up to the school because apparently this girl just had a seizure. And the crazy part about it is that she wasn't known for having seizures at all, or she wasn't epileptic or whatever that's called. She just had a random seizure for no reason. One of the craziest things I've ever seen in life. But the funny part about this girl is that the reason why she ended up so bopped out is because she got her heart broke, which is the last thing I want to talk about.
What? Jesus. Yeah, bro, this is insane. A kid having a seizure because their heart was broken? No way.
Because I know we've all had that one girl at our...
True. Heartbreak, bro. Everyone has heartbreak. Good that this was the last thing. A heartbreak was like, oh my god, it was... Like, it feels, especially when you're a teenager. Because I never had a thing when I was a kid. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't into anything romantically when I was a kid. I think at most I was like, man, if I have a relationship, I would want this. But a heartbreak, Phew. Good luck.
Our school that was in a 2 to 3 year relationship. Everybody thought that they was in game, and then the girl finds out that the dude cheated on her. Then she gets back,
Or
with
vice
him,
versa,
then
yeah.
he cheats again, and then she gets even more
Yeah.
heartbroken. Mind you, this guy is her first body. Well, after they officially break
Yeah.
up, she just decides to bop herself out. This is one of the saddest things ever because it never should get to this route. Matter of fact, being a bop in high school is crazy because you should never be a bop in high school. Seeing something like this happen, it's really messed up. But a lot of times, these girls do things like this because they think that they're gonna get back at their ex, but in all
Mhm.
reality, he doesn't care because he
Yeah.
was already cheating on you when he was with you. So you giving your body to everybody isn't gonna do anything to him. It's just gonna make him think less of you, and it's gonna make everybody think less of you. You're not really gaining anything. So
Yeah.
take it from me. Whenever you go through heartbreak, instead of being a bop, just go find the next guy, or just do some healing, or just do whatever. Try
Yeah.
to find an actual man that's willing.
Yeah, hey, lesson to everyone. If you get your heart broken, you got to work on yourself. And once you're done working on yourself, you got to work on trying to find another person who is on the same wavelength as you. Because I've seen so many people that have either dated someone, have gone through a relationship breakup, or even myself, that just puts a band-aid by going for someone else or going too hard, being a try-hard on like the gym or like makeup, everything, and their whole personality changes. They become a slut. Like they hold themselves. It's a horrible thing. You gotta fix yourself, and that's not just. I'm not just saying physically. If you have a little belly when you're with someone and think, "Oh, she's not with me because I gained like 10 pounds," that could be a thing. I ain't gonna lie, that could be a thing. But also, you gotta also mention, don't go too hard on yourself, because if you do, you're not just gonna fuck up your body, you're gonna fuck up your brain, you're gonna fuck up everything that you were working on. And it's already been fucked up because you got your heart broken. Why are you gonna try to break your brain?
Ready for your time instead of finding 5 guys who really don't care about you. That's some game. And also, to the guy,
5 guys are overrated.
guys, don't do women like this. Especially if y'all was dating for 2 to 3 years and you took the V card. Come on, bro. Hey, just break up with her, bro, if you don't like her no more. Besides that, long video done. If you want to see more school videos, unfortunately, I'm probably not gonna make that many more. But go watch the rest of my stuff. I know I've been inconsistent recently, but I'm finna start posting at least 1 time a week for the rest of the year. And also, I'm gonna lean more to relatable stuff that can also be drama, but not just relatable stuff or drama. You'll see what I mean. Besides that, follow on my socials. I stream. I'm fresh as hell on IG, so go tap into my IG and my Snapchat.
Well, that's pretty much the end of this video. I wish I could have seen all of it, but my time is about to run out, and I'm about to dip. But again, good video, and man, dude, getting your heart broken, ugly ass, fugly ass relationships and food. I'm kind of glad I'm done with high school, but I'm not glad that I'm gonna have to end this stream. Guys, it's been a great time to be around. It's been a fun time. I'm gonna try to do more of these. Also, I stream in Twitch and Kick, especially for certain things. I'm gonna try to post when I do these, but if I don't, and I guess I just stream randomly, thank you for coming. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for the 2-3 people. I think 4 was the record, or 3. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. It was a good time. I'll try to do my best to keep you guys updated whenever I stream again. Hopefully it's more. If you don't watch the stream, you're rewatching it again, or you're rewatching a clip. Thank you for watching. Yeah, it's VV Tax. Thank you for watching. Bye.